How are you doing this morning, man?
I'm good, man.
Oh, blessings. Well, people are ready, and it's you're here for about 2 hours today.
2, yeah.
Oh, yes, sir. Hey, guys, well, you know when you hear that music, no longer slave to fear and no longer slave to bad health. We have here with us today Dr.Batson of Batson and Associates. He's going to be here with us until the hour of about 11:30. I want to thank you so much for joining us here on Sky 99.5 FM. I'm just going to give you some numbers. I want you to save those numbers so that you can call. All right, so save these numbers. 624-7729. That is 624-7729. 625-2759. Those are the numbers, all right? 624-7729 or 625-2759. That's the numbers to call. Or you can send us a WhatsApp message with your questions or comments to 333-9950. That is 333-9950. All right, so you can send us your WhatsApp messages or voice notes if you have any questions or comments for Dr. Batson here on Sky 99.5 FM. So, Dr. Batson, the mic is yours, sir. The people are ready, and we're ready to go, man.
Good morning. So, how are you doing?
Man, I am all right. You know, it always have those things that could be better, but I give thanks still.
Definitely. So, I am great, man. I am great. I almost break beach today, but the diligent industrious side of me said no. Let me come down the road. Because we actually going to do a live this evening as well. We have a live scheduled for 7 p.m. tonight. And that's 2 hours, 7 to 9. So yeah, y'all getting it nice this Sunday. Because I know a lot of persons who would be in church and that type of thing. So I decided that I would do one this evening as well. All right, so you guys could look out for that.
So you'll be live on Facebook.
Yes, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So yeah. So I'll provide the information as we go as we move along, and also the information will be posted on our social media sites. So Facebook, Batson and Associates Limited, Instagram, Batson and Associates TT, and YouTube is Batson and Associates Trinidad. Okay.
Yes.
So always a pleasure to be in your company. Last week we had a very interesting program.
Yes, we did.
This week, in fact, I normally do 2 other programs on a Thursday on 2 different frequencies. One is 11 to 11:30, and the other one is 12:15 to 12:45. So you could always check that out on the social media platforms too. We usually post it as well. Let me say a pleasant good morning to our Facebook family. They come in hot and in a hurry. Miss June Jatan, good morning. Miss Sherry Alexander, Miss Marge Hills, Becca, good morning. And of course, to all the listeners of Sky 99.5. So today's program, of course, is a very interactive program. We're going to be discussing health from a natural and integrated perspective. Today, I decided that we're going to touch a bit on mental health because I believe there are a lot of persons out there suffering. Especially since COVID-19, the World Health Organization has reported a sharp increase in the amount of persons that are depressed and the amount of persons who suffer from depression and anxiety. So, and it is ridiculous, simply because even persons who have had COVID, one of the symptomology that they usually experience or can experience after having COVID is mental problems, anxiety, depression, being the most common. Long COVID, of course, is the most common issue. You have problems breathing, that type of thing, which we do address that. But the mental aspect of it, mental health, I think no one really touches on that. And then you have all these poor persons being put on, medication that is not really temporary. You're being told that you have to take this for the rest of your life. And I am a bit uncomfortable with that. especially knowing what your kidney and liver and all your other organs have to do, to process and deal with all these type of chemicals from these various type of mental health drugs. So you need to be careful. I'm not telling you not to take it, obviously, especially if it's professional advice. But sometimes you get professional advice, and when you have the addictions to deal with the withdrawal symptoms, you are the one who has to face the heat, right? So it's very careful. You need to be very careful as regards to that. So we're going to discuss that. We're going to discuss a product that we have at Batson and Associates that is just so awesome. That is the Nerve Restore product. And that Nerve Restore product, really does naturally address depression and anxiety. So we're going to touch a bit on that. We're actually going to have a special run-in with that product for this month into early next month, God's willing. So that's something that you'll be able to capitalize on. We'll be doing a lot of marketing on that. The Nerve Restore, especially Optimizer, we're going to be highlighting too, because Optimizer does help significantly with improving blood circulation to the brain. So we're also going to be highlighting that for you as well. So as usual, good things to come. I must apologize for the Nerve Restore we didn't have, but we got just this week, like maybe 2 days ago, we got in the office. So that is something that we have in all the offices now. So that is something that you could of course take advantage of. Good. So we're speaking about mental health, we're speaking about anxiety, we're speaking about depression. What really is anxiety? How do you know that you have anxiety? And of course, what can you do to really address this anxiety situation? So that's what we're going to discuss this morning. Now, when you talk about anxiety, anxiety is usually coupled, or it usually comes along with a particular type of symptomology. So a lot of the times, you find persons have issues where they are this anxiety situation causes a number of things. So you find your heart is racing off, you have problems sleeping. An anxiety attack is not a nice thing to experience. I mean, you're literally out of your wits in the sense that you have no control over your emotions. Your sympathetic, parasympathetic aspect of your central nervous system is, you don't have much control. And that is the flight or fight aspect of your central nervous system, which is known as your autonomic nervous system, which encompasses two aspects, sympathetic and parasympathetic. So in a case like that, you find that you're out of your mind literally with the way that you feel. Some people have severe weakness, severe trembling. They could actually have blackouts. They actually have problems breathing. So it's something that it can be very devastating to experience. And as I said before, the World Health Organization has said that since COVID-19, we have had serious increases in individuals who are experiencing problems associated with depression and anxiety. So what can you do to deal with the situation? So usually you would be recommended things like sleeping pills. You'll be recommended things like Zoloft, amitriptyline, and a number of other things to actually address this particular situation. Now, with that being said, how are you to deal with this aspect from a natural and integrated perspective? Because you always want to ensure that you address imbalances properly. Now, last program, we had a very interesting program where we highlighted a lot on diet. And, we had some very good feedback on that. A lot of persons really appreciated that. So many persons thanked me for, actually highlighting that aspect of nutrition, because so many persons out there are not aware that what you eat on a daily basis could either add years to your life or remove or deduct or subtract years from your life. And I think a lot of persons appreciated that, we highlighted some of the dangerous things that you need to stay off of or consume a lot less. I mean, you would have your cheat days. Nobody is saying no. You would have cheat days, but at the same time, it is very important that you organize yourself in such a way that you eat 90% of the times healthier. You eat 90% of the times organic. So we highlighted the importance of things like quinoa. So you want whole foods, whole grains in your diet, because we know with that you get a lot more nutrition, you get a lot more nourishment. One of the things I highlighted, is living food, living body, dead food, dead body. So you want less processed things. The sugar, you need to pay attention to that. We highlighted the importance of reading your labels. Because a lot of persons go to the supermarket, you buy things and you don't know how to read a label as it relates to grams of sugar. One of the things I pointed out to you is that every 4 grams is basically equivalent to 1 teaspoon. So that is, of course, is a good gauge in measuring your sodium and measuring your, excuse me, sorry about that, and measuring your sugar in the diet. So for every 4 grams, you're looking at 1 teaspoon. So if you look at a beverage, for example, and the beverage is telling you 60 grams of sugar, how many teaspoons is that? 60 divided by 4 is what? 15? So that's 15 teaspoons of sugar in that drink. Do you think that is something that you should be drinking? Yes or no? Right? That's a rhetorical question. There is no. Because you would not take a glass of water and take 15 teaspoons of granulated sugar and put it in that glass of water and mix it and drink it. Would you do that? Obviously, no, you wouldn't do it. The same applies to sodium. And what they do with the sodium is that they don't put the sodium in grams, they put it in milligrams. So you would see like 280 milligrams. Of course, if you divide it by 10, what you'll get? 28. 28 divided by 4 will give you what? 7? So that's 7 teaspoons of salt in that particular beverage. That's madness. Would you take 7 teaspoons of salt and put it in a glass of water and mix it and drink it? You wouldn't, right? So, see? Very easy. So I think when you put it in that perspective, or you put it in that rationale, people are actually able to understand, what you're doing to your cells. Check your calories. The importance of complex carbohydrates was the next thing we spoke about. How good provisions are as opposed to rice and pasta. The pasta people. I was a pasta lover. I love Italian food. But I don't really consume much of it again, simply because of, what I'm aware of. So that's something that you need to pay close attention to. We also talk about having... Sorry, Dion?
I was going to ask you, some people, when I went on my sugar fast for a month, I think it was somewhere there. I can't remember where exactly. Supposed to do another fast. I'm thinking about what to do. Right. But some people say, well, okay, so they understand the refined sugars, but what about the home and the handle brown sugar? They make little sweet bread. They make their own things. Is that much different from going to the grocery and getting all of those sugars there? In the soft drink and the sugars in the juice. Is it much different if I do my thing at home?
It is a bit different in the sense that it's obviously going to be less, especially based on what we're speaking about with the ratio of grams being 4 grams, meaning 1 teaspoon. I don't think you'll make a mug of juice. I don't know. Let's say you make juice home and you make what? Like a liter of juice. How much sugar do you think you'll put in that? If you're making juice, Dion, so you're making some lime juice and you're making like a liter lime juice, how much sugar would you put in that? What do you think is a satisfactory amount of sugar for that drink?
I don't know. I think
a tablespoon,
if I'm
2 tablespoons.
Now, boy, maybe about
a pot spoon?
3 or 4. Yeah, they're like a pot spoon.
Yeah, so a pot spoon of sugar.
Yeah, not totally filtered up, but
right.
Yeah,
yeah, and I think that is reasonable if you're looking at a liter, especially something like lime. If you're doing oranges, now that isn't necessarily bad per se as compared to what you're going to get in processed things, because you see, there's something known as modified cornstarch, which a lot of people do not understand. Modified cornstarch is poison. Plain talk, bad manners. It is poison. You find it in most cornflakes. You find it in a lot of soft drinks. And then you have people who buy these things where they tell you it has 0 sugar. Well, run from that. because there's no such thing as zero sugar, because what it has in that now is something known as aspartame. And if you do research on aspartame, aspartame has been noted as a cause for cancer. So all those people who like to drink the things that have zero in front of it, I didn't need to call the names. You're big and you have sense, you know what I'm talking about. Why would you drink something like that? And the unfortunate thing is you're not drinking that once for the year, you know. There are people who drink that on a daily basis. I remember recently having a conversation with someone who came to me, and this person didn't realize how atrocious the diet was. That diet was just nasty. I said, you are eating foolishness, you are killing yourself. And the unfortunate thing is that this person genuinely did not understand that they were killing themselves. So there are people who are truly ignorant to the fact of what is good to consume and what is not good to consume. One of the things I highlighted was food coloring. Food coloring is poison. If nobody ever tell you food coloring is poison, I am telling you, food coloring is poison. It is poison, it is poison, it is poison. So when it is you buy drinks and the drinks are yellow and the blue and the green, looking like somebody here, these women just put in their head. That cannot be, that's madness. That's food coloring.
So then preservatives are a challenge.
Yeah, that's poison. That's poison. Red mango and red plum and all that nonsense. I mean, there are some people who make it and they do it in such a way that, you know, it may be a little better. But you have preservatives. In the realm of preservatives, sodium benzoate is one of the most used preservatives that they have. You have sodium benzoate, you have potassium sorbate. I have a few others that I can't remember off the top of my head. Those things are... Sorry.
What about granny them who making the...
Well, that's what I'm not saying. Because remember, when granny making red mango, granny gonna put some bay leaf in that, you have some spice, she might brown some sugar. You understand what I'm saying? So that of course is much better. But I'm talking about they have hardcore preservatives. You just basically telling cancer, come into my body, come into my body. Yeah. Then if you go to the realm, to the arena, let me say, of meats. Dion, you there? Okay. You hearing me?
Right.
Yeah, I think we had a little
yeah, I'm right here.
Right, good. So I said, and then when you go to the arena of meats now, which is bigger. So then people talking about, like somebody recently asking me, okay, let me make sure I say this without getting a lawsuit. Okay, so that particular beef that people just eat.
Right.
Good. And it is normally coming a tin with a key. Right. Somebody asked me the other day, they tell me that they eat that and asking me if that is good. I say, you out of your mind? You living under a rock? How that could be good for you? You crazy? To begin with, you don't know what you're eating. You don't know if it's people inside of there. You don't know if there's some dead goat, some sheep, if they blend up some chicken, dog. You don't know what's inside of there. I always tell people, if I'm consuming meat, let me know what it look like. I know what a shrimp look like. I know it's a shrimp I'm eating. If it's fish, I know what fish look like. So I know if it's a piece of carrot, if it's a piece of kingfish. You can't fool me with that. But when it is you're talking about mince up thing, you don't know what it have inside of there. And then they put that in a tin for you. You don't know, where's the expiry date on that? 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years? And you eating that, you're making it with dumpling and, you know, down the road.
And potato.
Potato. According to a good friend of mine, you bless it, and you blaze it. Contrary to popular belief, it would be very foolish. As a good friend of mine say, you don't mix faith with foolishness. It would be nonsensical for you to pray, because everybody they say grace before meals. Before you eat, you just say, tell God thank you for the little meal. But don't cook rubbish and pray and act. Yeah, your papi showing God out. He had me to deal with, so I say, whatever happened to you. So that people they say they bless it and they blaze it. Right. You're on shippiness, you're talking nonsense. So I was
or they say God bless and I'll do the rest.
Yeah, God bless and you do the rest. Yeah, when you have some cardiovascular disease and your arteries block up, you want to be calling God's name. You think you should answer, yeah? You put yourself in that situation. You put yourself in that situation.
You know, I think that is one of the greatest concerns that people don't have. Right?
And that's what I'm saying. Because they don't understand, and that is why I think And let me tell you something. I mean, our leaders, the government, various institutions needs to be blamed for that. I tell you, plain talk bad manners. Because they have betrayed people in the sense that they have not identified fully to people that a lot of the things that you eat is stupidness and foolishness and nonsense, and and that is why you have so many sick persons. One of the things I highlighted last week, I don't want to stick too much on last week because of what I promised to discuss today, is I was talking about the young women with the menstrual cycles. You have these young ladies now, they're not going to be able to make children. We're going to reach a stage where people are going to be basically infertile. Trinidad already has a high infertility rate. You have young men, 19, 20, and all you always living in a rum shop. Nobody know alcohol better than all you. And you can't function properly. So poor you, the little sperm you have inside of there, he can't function because he's drunk. So who you could get pregnant? Nobody. And then you have these young ladies and them now, they love a chicken in all form and fashion. So they consume too much of meat, and then you have all these chemicals inside it. So you have all these estrogen. So your estrogen levels are much higher than they're supposed to. And you have these young females now getting the menstrual cycle at 8. I think in my mom time and my grandmother and my great-grandmother time, they would have seen the menstrual cycle at 14, 12, 11 if you're a little lucky. It have young ladies 8, 9 years. Period. Already. They bust already a certain size and that type of thing. Then you have this thing they call gynecomastia, where you have men, young men, with breasts. And I'm not trying to embarrass it. You see them, you see the school children. I've seen schoolboys walk into school and they literally have breasts. And that is not trying to be facetious, sorry, or embarrass anybody or make anybody feel bad. But that's the reality. That's your child, you know, or somebody's child. So you have to understand that there's some level of responsibility that parents again need to take with the children. Then they have these dotish big bag of snacks that is be buying. If you're nice to hit them people some slap when I see them in the grocery. Why are you giving your children that stupidness to eat? You're trying to tell me you can't go and get a little grapes or a little apple. I mean, if it is you're going fruit, because you know all they have foreign and all there, so you want to eat the people apple and grapes. Okay, good, no problem. That's still better than that nastiness. But you have mango, you have guava. And then the nonsense is you give the children the foolishness from early, you start them on the sugar, and then you're telling them, saying that they don't want anything else to eat. They must don't want anything else to eat because you start them on stupidness from the beginning. So the child, poor child, innocent in the whole thing. So it can't be do as I say and not do as I do because they're looking at you.
So what are some of the complications that children develop because
of the foods that they eat? I think about it. A lot of complications. There have been serious bone musculoskeletal challenges associated with children who consume all these salty snacks, all these potato chips, and these set of things with things like GMO. There's a particular noodles that people like, starting with R. Jesus Christ, I don't know what it is people just get out of that thing. It does look nasty. They show you a video on YouTube where they mix and they patch a hole. But I cement. Why are you eating that? Why are you eating that? That is sheer licorishness and stupidity mixed up together. There's a pill how you make it. Stupidity and licorishness. You have to be a clown. And then when things happen to you and you try to explain it, and people know, you know, Dion, they know. I have had clients who came to me. You're going good. You detoxify, you drink Santulan, you drink Alkagen water, your blood sugar levels reading good, your thing going nice with you. According to my great-grandmother, the devil choke you, and you go some way and decide you're going to buy something that you know you're not supposed to eat. You know you're not supposed to eat it, but you say, well, you know, thing, and I'm feeling good. And that's when they start to form the fool. You see when they start to feel good? There's now the party start. So you go. It's going good all the time, 2 months, 3 months, you cleanse, you lose weight, your blood sugar reading good, you're looking good, thing going nice with you. And then Satan choke you and you're gone, and you say, well, I'm going and eat a hot dog, or you go and eat something that you're not supposed to eat. And then water more than flowers because that'll call ambulance for you. Why do you think that happened to you? Why? Because you're now introduced, your body stay away from inflammation for the longest while. Your inflammatory levels come down, so things normal. The body starting to get a little balance. Them fellas and them inside and your cells feeling nice. They say, well, all right, Dion doing what you're supposed to do. You know, you're going and eat the people thing and you end up in problems. I had a client with acid reflux that came to me. Acid reflux is a serious thing, you know. Now, if it is you were to carry acid reflux, I am, keep in mind, let me be abundantly and emphatically clear, I am not a racist. I will never be a racist. We live in a country where we have a multitude of different ethnicities, cultures, that type of thing. Food. Trinidad, I tell people, Trinidad is a beautiful place to live. You have all sorts of choices of food. You have East Indian, African, Chinese mix. Okay, good. No problem. Now, curry is a thing that I like. I like authentic Indian curry. So, like apsara and that type of food. But it's something I don't consume often because, you know, I know an authentic Indian curry is much healthier than curry that they could cook in Trinidad. Trinidadians have a different way of cooking curry. Caribbean people on the whole. The curry, how they normally cook the curry, is one that contributes to a lot of problems with your stomach. So you usually find, and I'm not saying this is only highlighted to East Indian people, but usually people of East Indian descent have problems with acid reflux. Why do you think they have acid reflux? All that curry and pepper, it causes inflammatory response in the intestines. So it causes inflammation. It makes your esophagus inflames. It makes your stomach inflamed. And some people, they cannot eat food without pepper, you know. Well, you'll find out what will happen to you in a very short period of time. Now, I'm not saying pepper in itself is unhealthy, but the way you consume things and the way you prepare things can affect them or cause them to be negative. A perfect example is barbecue. A lot of people do not know when you barbecue food. Barbecue is what? What do they use for barbecue? Coals, right? What coals has in it? Coals is carcinogen. So barbecue food is carcinogen. What does that mean? It has cancer-causing chemicals. I have someone eating barbecue every day. It has something called barbecue pigtail. I don't know who came up with that brilliant idea. So the barbecue done bad, you come and give me hog with it too? Nah, man. Nah. Somebody tell me, you ever try barbecue pigtail? I don't want that. Do not bring that for me. That is not food. That is not food.
But you ever tried Jira horse, Dr. Batson?
Jira what? Jira hog?
Horse.
Jira horse? No. Yeah. I ate horse once in my life. I think I ate horse some years ago. It tastes good, actually. It was very tough. It was like beef. But I was joking. Yeah, I know, but I actually ate horse already, honestly. Yeah, but that was unfortunate. Well, I mean, because you don't get horse, so, you know, one of them horses running and they break their foot, and somebody I know somebody who knows somebody who knows the people. And that's how I end up get somebody horse. But the horse tastes good, you know, right? Just saying. But on a serious note, no, some people, the young people just really overdo it. They really does overdo it in truth, man.
Well, come on. I don't think people really, and that's what I said. I don't think we take it
to heart.
Serious.
Yeah, because
you have your car, right? And they'll tell you change your oil every 3 months.
Right.
Check.
Well, they didn't even give you a time, you know. Remember, they give you a distance that is traveled. And I always highlight the importance of that. They say you do a service every 5,000 kilometers, I mean, yeah. And then you do a general service every 20,000 kilometers. And if you purchase a vehicle from a firm and you do not maintain the service period, you would avoid your warranty. So anything happens to that vehicle, they have no money to give you. And the reason why it is designed so is because we know preventative maintenance is very important. And that's why I always tell persons, so I am not saying that you will eat good all the time. Nobody, we live in Trinidad. Sometimes you're busy, sometimes you're working. I am not, I live in the real world. I'm not living in a fantasy world. There are times when, depending on where I am, I would not get to eat what I want to eat, but I try my best to get something that closest enough to something that is reasonably healthy. If you understand what I'm saying. Yeah. And the thing is, if you eat out often, that is one of the things that you're going to have to do. You may have to opt to having more salads, opt to having, as opposed, make a healthy choice. You can't eat, look, doubles. Doubles is something I eat once in a blue moon. But if people just eat doubles every day, how you will do yourself that? And then you're looking like a tub and you wonder why your belly big, you're breathless, you can't. Obviously, because you're eating nonsense and you're eating it on a regular basis. When you take flour and rice out of your diet, Dion, you will lose weight. When all these ladies come and tell me, Dr. Batson, I want to lose weight, I like my belly looking. Okay, good. Stop eat rice, stop eat flour. Oh God, I go dead, what I go eat? So where you want to eat? Where you want to eat? And the thing is, those things, when you do it, you realize, oh, you know, I'm feeling better, I'm healthier, I have more energy. And that's the reality of the situation. Coffee is the next thing. I don't know what language to tell all of this in again. And there was a particular individual who came to me and said that this person, the diet was it was atrocious. I was like, Jesus Christ. I was like, what you eating? I said, listen to me, I need to come home by you with a garbage bag and just clear out that cupboard and that fridge and throw everything. And you need to go in the market in the morning. Because you are nothing good in the house to eat. Stupidness. And then you have 2 children, and you're giving the children the same thing.
The same thing.
And you sick. Yeah. All kind of thing wrong with you, you know. You have diabetes, you have high blood pressure, you can't sleep, your head hurting, your menstrual cycle ain't coming on time, and you have 2 girl children, and well, 3, and a boy child, some ages, and you're giving them the same foolishness to eat. So what will happen to them? They wouldn't get what you have, and then somebody with a notice self going to come and tell me it's hereditary. All I need to stop that crotchless nonsense with hereditary. It have nothing to do with hereditary. It's all your licorishness put on your day, all your greedy. Exercise some discretion, some self-control. I come from a family with a set of diabetics. I am not getting diabetes. I'm declared I am not getting diabetes. I am not getting hypertension. You know why? There are certain things that I stay away from. I cannot remember the last time I drank a soft drink. If I go to a function, I'd have alcohol and I need chaser. Well, to begin with, I do drink alcohol that need chaser. I tell them to have certain versions of alcohol. It's just good to do exactly what people just do with it. Sap the knee and must sap your foot with it. I am not drinking that. I don't want it. So with that being said, you have to understand that and then a lot of people, especially cancer, you see cancer, the majority of people, and I'm not trying to abuse anybody, but we need to be factual and talk facts, because a lot of these doctors, sometimes they go and they tell, we don't know what causes cancer, we don't know what causes diabetes, we don't know what, oh please. We sending people on the moon up to now, we don't know what causes people to get sick. Really? It's stupidness or eating, foolishness, nonsense, greedy. That is what putting all in that situation. Some years ago, when we didn't have all these fast food restaurants and all kind of thing, how come everybody was healthy? Now everything you're eating in a tin, it's in a box. What do you expect to happen to you? But it's the children, because remember when you're growing, when you're let me just make this point before we open the lines and I continue to talk or start the topic that I actually had intentions of talking about. When you growing, when you're small, you are in the what stages? You're in the developmental stages. Your little bones developing, your little brain, your little thing. How you could be giving children foolishness to eat and expect them to develop properly? I tell you, this generation Z children and them are sorry for them, you know. I'm sorry when I tell you I'm sorry for them.
Dr. Batson, there's an argument that comes up where persons say, well, the argument is, well, you
something
know,
will kill you.
Well, besides that, the fact they say, well, I know this man drinking this for over how much years, and he ain't dead yet. He ain't dead yet.
Right,
you
exactly.
I know.
Yeah.
He's 90-something years and he ain't dead yet. You know? How do you address that particular kind of issue? Like how you talk about coffee and they say, well, I know it's not
drink a lot of coffee, right? Getting.
Yeah.
I have
I
have 2 things to say to that.
Yeah.
There's a very famous soca artist. We have female. She sang a song this year. Drink water and what? Mind your business. Mind your business. Don't study what John drinking and what Mary does eat. The people have a saying, go for luck is not see for luck. You do not know the underlying aspects of those individuals. There are some people who are genetically blessed. There are some people like that. You come from good, I tell them you come from good stock. And it is no. Those are people like that usually come from people from families where they live long generation. My what side that is boy? As in my mother's side of the family. They live very old, 90-something. There was 1 or 2 people who were centenarians. So sometimes you come from a family where you have good stock. Your grounding and your foundation nice. That is something to be taken into consideration. The next thing you have to take into consideration is a lot of people that you make reference to, you do not know their history. Some of those persons have been working hard and they work hard. A lot of people only now own vehicles. Some of them people used to be walking for miles. I remember hearing my mother and them talk. Where's my mother age? My mother was what, 60s, mid-60s, somewhere around there is my mom age. And when you hear they talking about walking to school, they used to walk to school for miles depending on where you live in. So you don't know the foundation that these people have. So even if they're eating a little shippiness now, they still have some grounding to help them. Some of them grow up on provision. When you look at our generation, especially if you grow in places like Cedras and Toku, Tobago, Grenada, St. Vincent, because we have a lot of islanders and people who come from that, those lineages, for want of a better expression, and that ethnicity and that class of slaves and that type of thing would be different people. If you look at people from Grenada, you cannot compare Grenadian to Trinidadian. Go and try and fight with some of them, especially if you get old school Grenadian. Or you ever see people in St. Vincent? You ever see Vincentian women are very tall, robust looking women. Tobago, because it comes again. It is the foundation. These people, there's something we call it in for some reason the word is not coming to me. But what I'm saying is that those people, your foundation. So if you come from generations of provision and piwa and oh gosh, what do they call this thing? Kaimit and sapodilla and plantain and fish tea, and you must do, when you make children, it's proper children you're making. Healthy sperm, healthy egg will give you a healthy child. You cannot, there is no comparison. It's only now when you look, and the reason for that is because what is the dilution of the food. Okay. So when you eat food, look, I always tell people, look at Chinese people. If you look at the Asian world, look at them. Look at places like Philippines, Singapore, China, Malaysia, those countries. Look at what they eat. Now, that is a set of people, they do not eat provision, which I was always amazed at, and simply because it's not really indigenous to there. But look at what they eat. Now, Chinese people eat rice, but look at how they cook the rice and look at how much rice they eat as compared to their meat. The meat bowl is always the smallest. The rice bowl is then the next size. And then the largest bowl is which bowl? The vegetable bowl. Chinese people use a lot of soup. They use a lot of hot things. They do not drink, they don't drink anything cold. So you have to understand, because of these practices for generations, it means that the grounding again, as I said, the foundation would have been a strong foundation. So you cannot
come. Most of them have the size,
they're very slim.
Most of them.
Yeah, and a lot of people attribute that. People don't understand. Food is dramatically going to affect your size over a period of time. You know? Remember, it's a generation. It's generation on top of generation on top of generation. One of the most comprehensive nutritional study that was ever done in the world is a study they call the China study. They actually wrote a book on it. And one of the things that they found is that when you look at ethnicity, so when you look at the basic human genotype, which is, we have a basic genotype, right? You have different ethnicities. There is a lot of research that shows, you know, when people talk about the first people, and I try not to get into the argument at all, but, you know, basically ethnicities came about as a result of movement and, you know, because people went to different parts of the world and because of climate and whatever, yeah, people that became Caucasian, whatever. Okay, good, no problem. That, of course, took a number of years to accomplish. But what I'm saying, when you look at the basic aspect of the human gene, we technically all the same. But with that being said, one of the things that they did is that they did an experiment. And they took, so let's keep it basic. Let's keep it to Trinidad and Tobago so we can understand what we see. If you take a child of East Indian descent, so Indian child, you take a child of Chinese descent, you take a child of African descent, you take a child of Caucasian, right? 4 different types of children. And you grow them up in the same environment and you feed them the same food over a period of time. Structurally, they did it with boys. They would all more or less look the same in terms of their muscle content, the size of their waist, that type of thing. Because the food over a period of time is what was primarily responsible for their development. So all of them essentially look the same. Now, the thing is, if you look at ethnicity in Trinidad, and you look even from a perspective of religious beliefs, there are certain, okay, and this is not, again, being disrespectful to anybody religion. Understand what I'm saying and understand where it is coming from. Because I know it has some people that like to play stupid and say Dr. Batson say. So listen clearly to what it is I'm saying. I'm not criticizing anybody's race. I'm not criticizing anybody's religion. Good. So let's look at Muslim people, for example. Muslim men share one disease and one disease in common. You know what disease that is? You ever hear about something called gout?
Gout, yeah.
Gout is excess uric acid that develops and stores itself in your joints. You usually get gout from what? What type of meat? Red meat. Now, the thing is, you can have gout and be a vegetarian, you know, but that's for a different discussion. But most of the time, and if you would look, most Muslims consume what? They would use goat, they would use plenty beef, plenty red meat, a lot lamb and that kind of meat, plenty meat. That's why they get it. Look at some people of East Indian descent. If you look even to the aspect of even Hinduism, right? You would realize in that aspect of the religion, you would have various religious ceremonies, you have prayers, whatever the case may be. What is usually served at those occasions? A lot of what? Sweets and flour and that type of thing. So you usually find the East Indian community has a problem with what? Diabetes. How they get diabetes? Roti, rice, and what? Aloo. What is aloo? Aloo is what? Potato. What does potato have high concentrations of? S-U-G-A-R, sugar. So they have diabetes. When you look at the Eskimos, their staple is what? Salmon. Salmon has what in it? Omega-3. Omegas do what? Helps to superproof your cardiovascular system. So their issues with stroke, cardiovascular disease is much lower. Look at the Mediterranean. So you go down, you look at people in Greece, that part of the world there. Their diet is primarily what? Olives, olive oil, olive tea, olive, which is good for what? The cardiovascular system. Their blood pressure is usually, if you look at it on a large scale, is usually better than most of the world. So you see, the old people are saying common sense maybe for book. This is not maths and no physics and chemistry and things, you know. It's a simple thing. But you know what happens? People like to lie to themselves. And I have no problem if you want to lie to yourself. That's quite good. But don't come to waste my time and your money. I always tell people that. I'm the type of person, if you know me well enough, I don't make people spend money they have no right to spend. If you come to me and you want to do a blood analysis, just recently somebody come, they want to do the blood and scan. You bring about 9,000 report for me. Why do I need a blood and a scan? I'm not going to do that now for you. I said that money. I said, yeah, what you can do with that money, Tanti? You don't need that. She said, Dr. Batson, but I said, no. I said, you want to waste that money? I don't need to check that. I already understand certain things and I know what I'm doing here. So what we're going to do is you're going to take that money you could utilize to actually use it to buy products for yourself. You get your Santulan, you get your Alkagen water, you get your Optimizer. The other problem with sleep, you get your nerve restore. And Tanti was so glad because that same money now, so the bill was less, and she was able to start to feel better. So that's what I'm saying. You don't lie to yourself. You know you eat, but as one of the last points I want to make is, you know, do some research. Read. We living in the information age now. Read, understand what it is you're doing, and understand what because it doesn't make any sense. You're doing a program. You're eating and you're eating stupidness. You will go 10 steps forward, 50 steps back. You will never reach your destination. As the old people say, you're spinning top in mud. You're not going anywhere.
Dr. Batson.
Yeah.
Dr. Batson, for the persons who say, who says, you know what, I wanna eat healthy, you know, but it is too costly. It's costly.
God, yeah, man. I have a plug.
You hear that, right?
Yeah, of course. I have a plug for them. I have a few plugs for them. Well, again, you're on stupidness. You're talking nonsense. You know why? Because plant, you must have a yard somewhere. If you're renting, get some barrel. That's one. Two, less meat. Meat is normally the most expensive thing you have in the supermarket. I like? Meat is the most expensive thing in the supermarket, generally. So yes, health things are a little more expensive, and that's something that the government needs to work on. You know, if they take off all the tax and duty that they have on those things, people should be healthier. But that's a different story with them. Them I don't know what they're looking for. They must like to spend a certain money on diabetes and all them foolishness, right? But the thing is, there is an economic consequence to everything. If you leave your house this morning to go to church, you have to put gas in your car. You have on clothes. You would have on shoes, whatever. There's an economic consequence. You have to buy things. So you just need to know, listen to me, let me make some more constructive purchasing, whether it is you're looking at, if you're doing quinoa, yes, we know is a little more expensive than rice, but this is better. So, you know, there's some mixing. Even if you buy the rice, when you're eating the meal, eat half the amount of rice with half the amount of quinoa. Mix it up. But don't try and use finances only as an excuse. There's an economic consequence to everything that you do in life. Everything. Right? And the thing is, when you look at it in the long run, I always say, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. You do not want to end up in a situation where you have to, you know how much for a triple bypass surgery? To begin with, 1 year short to live. So you could spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then your poor family had to be burying you and everybody grieving because it's you dead. You just spent $250,000, $300,000, $500,000. They open you up and you ain't get up. That is that could happen. That is a reality. That could happen. You're talking about kidney. Your kidneys, I tell persons, your kidney is not an organ to play with. It is the most unforgiving organ in the human body. Your heart, you stand a better chance with your heart, your liver, your intestines, your eye. But you see, Mr. Kidney, you do not play with your kidney. When that organ starts to give you trouble, so he make up his mind to get trouble. You there are few people in the country and the world could do what I am able to do with somebody with kidney problems. We have helped numerous people stay off of dialysis with kidney protocols. But it is one of the most difficult protocols to follow because it is strongly based on your diet. There are a lot of things you cannot eat when it is we doing a regeneration of your kidneys and that kind of thing, which is highly possible. But again, it comes down to what you put in your mouth. So, if it is you like something and you like it, I can't vex with you. People like what they like, right? But don't lie and talk stupidness and try to find a crutch for something. The crutch, your mother, cousin, dog, and everybody have it. All you need to stop that nonsense. Diseases that are prominent in particular families are only prominent because all of them eating the same foolishness. Show me somebody in that family who has a different lifestyle, who exercises and who do certain things, and tell me if it is they get it. Of course, you have other factors to take into consideration. Because remember, you don't only have a physical body, right? You have a spiritual body, supramental, or what is known as your subconscious mind. Then you have a mental body, which is your conscious mind. And then you have a vital body, which is your energy body. And all those bodies to the top affect the last body, which is the physical body. So there are also those things to take into consideration. Good? But generally, come off of that nonsense. Diabetes running in my family. Diabetes only running in your family because all of them eating the same foolishness. And the young women and them, they watch what their mother learn to cook and them cook that too. So take off this crutch about, and you come from a family with cancer. And you see that C word, I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. I do not want that. That's not coming by me. You know why? You see lemon? I use lemon every day in hot water. Every tea I make, with the exceptions of the ones that I make if I'm in office, home, I squeeze a half a lemon in it. If I feel to go a little mad, I just take the lemon, everybody wash them nice and clean, throw them in a moisturizer and mash it up, blend up everything. And I put that in the deep freeze. And so every time I make a tea, I put it in like to make ice blocks. And I put that inside of there. Do you know how that will help prevent you from getting cancer? The problem with a lot of people is that they are very reactive. Your licorice, the people who like the pork, you know, to some you can't see hog, you can't smell it, it can't pass, you can't hear it. You love it. Okay, good. But we know that's one of the most nastiest meat to have. It's disgusting. It stink. Terrible. That have something called trichinosis in it that don't die so. That's a parasite. But you see that heat and all can even kill that. But you have to know how to cook it. I'm not saying not to eat pork. I'm not saying that. If there's a religious connotation or some religious thing associated with it. Good, I respect that. I'm not saying I don't eat it. I just eat it once in a while. And if I'm eating it or if I'm cooking it, I know how to prepare it. And you have to understand that. So stop making excuses. If it is, you're greedy. I work in Tobago, and Tobago has a specific sickness. The men in Tobago have one of the largest incidents of prostate problems. You know what time they bring people from all over the place and have prostate program, and they cut off a whole set of them prostate and all kind of nonsense. And they wouldn't tell them hardened men and them stop eating all that pork. Eh? Now, I could tell you, you don't have to listen to me. You could disagree with me. We could agree to disagree, no problem. But that ain't changing the fact that your prostate's sick. Not changing the fact at all. It means that you're doing something wrong. You don't get prostate cancer just so. So what is it? Why is it that all these men in Tobago have a problem with their prostate? It's because of the set of pork they're eating. Plain talk, bad manners. Now, somebody could go and do a study, and see, but I'm telling you, it is that. It is that I have seen. I work all over the Caribbean and in the US and certain parts of Canada, even China. And I have never seen a higher incidence of prostate issues that I have seen in Tobago. So what is it? So what I'm trying to say is a special, because they like to talk this nonsense about black men have a gene that has caused them to have prostate. That is foolishness of the highest order. It is our diet. And then generally we are generally a little more aggressive in nature. So it means from a mental perspective, if you don't know how to channel your aggression and do certain things, you will make yourself more sick. That's a fact.
So I mean, you were when you just started to speak, Dr. Batson, you were talking about stress, as you mentioned that just now there. One of the things you were talking about was stress.
Right.
So then therefore, is there a connection between a particular race of people and stress? Because as I said just now, the way
I put it across? Yeah, no, it's true, and a lot of people don't like to hear it. And the men, God, this could be very controversial. So I don't know how I say it, what I say. Yeah, but I mean, you know me by now. I don't mince words. I don't have time to talk nonsense. But it has been proven. We are generally more aggressive. Now, whatever accounts for that. I mean, there are a number of reasons where you could look at that. So anyone who is more aggressive in nature is likely to have more health problems. Let me put it like that. So there are people, for example, who are A-type personality. I am an A-type personality individual. A-type personalities usually are people who end up with cardiovascular problems. So when I saw that, I was like, Jesus Christ, I need to be careful. Simply because A-type personality tends to be they have a higher level of, I wouldn't say aggression, they're a little more assertive. Good, that's understandable. So they show that people who are like that, your cardiovascular system would usually get more work. So the likelihood of you developing a cardiovascular issue as a result of that is much higher. That's all I'm simply saying. If you're a calmer, more relaxed person, according to, I remember Oprah Winfrey once said, what she said, boy, she was giving a speech to Harvard. She was doing the commencement speech for Harvard School of Business. And one of the things that she was saying is that if it is you are a obsessive compulsive goal-getting individual, you're going to end up in problems because simply that is your nature. But she was looking at it from the perspective of, with failure, and because she was talking about this particular, when she finished the show, she actually launched the O magazine. So she was just trying to highlight to the listening audience the importance of, stick-to-itiveness and, being diligent in what you do and that kind of thing. Because failure, and that's something I learned early in my life, thank God, especially in business and with school and that type of thing, that, they say when you fail, failure isn't really failure, it's just God pushing you in a different direction. And one of the things she said is that, you have to be able to look at things in its entirety and then go again. There's always a saying, the goal is never changed, but the direction in which you're going, you might have to change, or the destination is basically, so that was basically from a motivational perspective. But in any case, the point I'm making is that mentally, once you are more driven and you're more stressed, the likelihood of you being sick is much higher. Stress has been seriously linked to cancer. They have proven that a lot of persons who have gotten cancer are persons who have existed in high stress environments. So the thing is, if a doctor may tell you, we're not too sure what has caused your cancer, or we may need to do a little more research to narrow it in. But when you tell people you don't know what causes them to get sick, that's a completely different thing. And then we could go in the whole aspect of, being imperfect human beings anyway. None of us perfect. So as a result of that, you're already more subjected to sickness, or susceptible rather, I want to say, to sickness. So to the ones who say, well, something have to kill you, well then, when you get sick and you're taking with pain, make sure, because if me personally, this is me, if I had that mentality and I was thinking like that, I would make sure everything in order with my family, my will, everything. So God forbid, when I take you with pain and I dead, my business settled. But don't be telling people that something had to kill you. You're eating foolishly. You know your lungs bad. You're smoking cigarette every day. Your wife fed up quarrel with you. She fed up talk to you. Stop smoke, stop smoke. You're taking with her pain. You're calling the ambulance. If something had to kill you, don't call the ambulance. Say your prayers. Tell everybody bye-bye and dead. And stop wasting big people time. That's me. If you had to deal with me, that's my philosophy. Don't waste big people time and waste money. Something had to kill you when you're taking with pain, though. But don't worry. All of them who say that, they're afraid to dead.
I think it's really interesting because I was telling somebody the other day, if you really love your family, as they say you do, you take care of yourselves, because when you eat anything and do what you want and you get ill, it is your family who have to leave their job. They have to make arrangements for somebody to see about the children, the money that they were saving for their children to do so and to dip in to see about you. You know what I mean? So you have to be conscious of the fact that when you eat what you want, do what you want, and get ill, you're putting somebody else out of, and they would do it. They're doing it out of the love. You know, they're not thinking about.
Well, they're doing it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because and I always say that is selfishness. That is selfishness. Yeah. Because when you get sick, and that's why I tell you, they don't have one like me to deal with. You have one like me to deal with. Watch me, crap, who smoke your pipe with them? I am leaving you there. No, I don't. I am. When coming to something, I have a low tolerance for stupidness. You see, that is stupidness. You cannot tell me, because I have seen it for I doing this 14 years now. That's what I tell you. I know them. When you come to me with nonsense, I run in here. Do not come. It have people I put out my place. Do not come here with your stupidness. There are other doctors who will take your money and eat your money. Batson not doing that. Do not come in my place and tell me you want change and then you want to eat where you want and then come by me every 3 months to frustrate me because your sugar ain't going down, your pressure ain't going down. I take my job seriously, And you're eating foolishness. Okay. Foolishness. Look, even alcoholism. We have a country, we drink too much rum in this place. Too much. That is nonsense. You're trying to tell me we so socially inefficient that you have to, every function you go to, they must serve alcohol? Nah, man. Something got to be wrong with us. Something is seriously wrong with us. And we have a culture where we cannot socialize without alcohol, Dion. You could invite people home in your house, Dion, and starve them. Don't give them nothing to eat, but make sure you have something to drink for them, Yeah. They will bad talk you from now till the rest of to the end of the year. They'll say, man, I go, madam, I mean, get nothing to drink. Because we have a culture of alcoholism. We are alcoholics. And one of the persons who said that was a senator, Senator Wyatt, some years ago, and everybody wanted to string up the woman. But what she said was correct. We have a social, and it is a social problem. We already, they will say, well, I mean, this station, people on this station may not really be revelers and partiers and that kind of thing. Okay. But generally, we have a culture of alcoholism. We have a set of holidays. Every holiday is a drink up. You're dead, they drink. You're married, they drink. Is a christening, they drink. So, it's only alcohol. And that is going to affect you. Alcohol has been proven. There's a clinical study they did some years ago. I could always get the exact facts. One of the things that they did with that clinical study, they've identified that drinking alcohol does what? Cause 7 types of cancer. They say moderate drinking, Dion. We're not talking about all you who just get drunk and fall on the table and roll and fall down in drain and thing. We ain't talking about all you. We talk about moderate alcoholics. The alcoholics who just drink and they could walk still and talk normal. We ain't talking about the rum cork and them who just be rolling, as I say, in drain and falling down. But them worse. And they say just by drinking alcohol moderate drinking of alcohol, not the rum corks, you can get 7 different types of cancer, including prostate cancer, breast cancer, cervical cancer, colon cancer, colorectal cancer, pancreatic cancer, lung cancer. and you want to try and have a conversation, moderately drinking, and it have people that be drinking a particular drink that start with a P. I drink that once in my life, and I thought I had fever for 2 weeks. I was like, what the France is this? What is this? How could you drink that all the time? You go a little wedding, you know, you must go on a little zest, so you and your wife, or you know, you go on a little weekend, all right, you want to like yourself, nobody is saying no, but at least you can't be every day? No.
Dr. Batson, a guy came to me and said, hey, this COVID thing not affecting me, you know, because I just drink, but because
the particular, don't call him, man. Yeah.
Is that one of those things. I just drink that, you know. So thing can't come around me. Yeah. So and then some people had the argument. Well, let me not go into that too much. But you know, some people have the argument when they look at some persons who are homeless,
right?
And they say, well, look at them here, long time outliving so many people. You know what I mean? What's going on with them? Give me their diet. You know, some people say.
But their diet is but here the diet, Dion. No, but we know their diet. People who are homeless do not eat. Let me tell you something. Sometimes money is a bad thing, you know. You notice, okay, so let me know how I'm thinking. I'm behaving bad today, boy.
Yeah.
They're getting it today. No, because you see, the thing is, we need to stop fooling ourselves, you know. You see, people like that's the thing, Dion.
Yeah, I think that is it. What you're saying there is that we might mince around what people really need to hear.
Exactly.
You know? And you don't play.
No, I don't have time for that. In my profession, I tell people I just talk my mind. You know, you either like me or don't like me. According to them, you like me, you can't buy me. You don't like me, you can't sell me. So that's your business. You stick with your opinion. All about everything. Everybody in this world entitled to our opinion. As always, it are people who don't believe in God. So that's tell you the manner human beings are dealing with. So the point I'm making is that you have to understand in the final analysis that it is going to affect you. So if it is you make up your mind, it's either you want the truth or you want the lie. But Trinidad and Tobago has too many sick people. Imagine we live in a country where we don't have enough dialysis center. If you have money, you go and open a dialysis center in the morning. In about a few months, a month, it's full of people. You don't have enough room. And we did not get here eating salad and walking around the savannah. We are doing something that is wrong, and we need to admit to ourselves. As I said, if it is you want to say, well, look, to hell with everything. I have one life to live. You want to go and, as the young people say, you want to go and zest, use a zester, and you want to go and zest and drink rum and eat it. Do as you like. Make your will, and when the good Lord ready for you, go your way in peace and don't stress out people. Because to take care of somebody who is ill, most people who are caregivers for the sick family, they end up sick afterwards, you know. Yeah, because that's a whole mental stress. You know, people have to clean you, they have to bathe you. No. That ain't right. I'm not saying, you know, that you may not have the odd occasion where somebody really was diligent and they did well, and then they still end up in a situation. Because, you, as I say, you don't know the intricacies of everyone's life. And as I say, the spiritual health, the mental health, whatever the case may be. Some people have problems. There are people who keep things inside, bottled up, and nothing could get you more sick than when you are in a depressed state and when you're holding your feelings. And I remember my great-grandmother used to say, she used to say her chest is not deep freeze. And I used to say, Granny, what that means? She said she's not keeping up, not she chest for nobody. Anything she had to tell you, she's telling you. If you need, I tell people, forgive who you have to forgive. If it is cost who you have to cost when you don't ask God forgiveness. But deal with it. Don't leave it. When you leave things bottled up inside, that people living with people they don't like. You can imagine you sleeping on a bed with somebody and you don't like them. You have to be out of your mind, not in my bed. Go away. We have to done.
The custom views of Dr. Batson is not the views of the
No, I am just saying, no, cost is in general. But you understand what I'm saying? Vent. Get it out. Don't keep things in your mind that people you're living with, people you don't like them. That is what is getting sick. That will kill you. Yeah. I always remember.
And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to tell them in any kind of derogatory way.
Exactly. Let people know, hey, hear what? I don't like what you're doing. So and so is the case. How are we going to do this? Yeah. We have 2 children already. Well, hear what? We going to divorce or we ain't going to divorce? You stay in a relationship with no children. You stay there, then the children worse off, you worse off. The children area is good, you mad, you're sick. No, that ain't right. That ain't right. That ain't right at all. I mean, at the end of the day, yes, you will have serious things to take into consideration. I'm not saying to throw away your marriage. That's not what I'm saying. If you need to go to a counselor or whatever. But the thing is, why is it emotionally, once you are not emotionally and psychologically healthy, it is going to physically break you down and it will make you sick. I tell you, I've known persons, and they proved this, you know. There's a doctor who proved this. He did a test. He did 30,000 people he looked at with cancer, and every last one of them had a serious stressor in their life that eventually caused them to get cancer. The human body is an amazing creation, amazing. But God not stupid. He know exactly what it is he did. And if it is we do not maintain, I mean, the world that we're living in, to maintain balance is hard. All of us are affected by stress. Look at COVID. And that's why when I started the program, that's one of the things I was saying. How many people had businesses that don't have business again? They don't have. Those persons will be affected. That's a hard thing. You would have worked hard for years, you know, financially. Now you're not the same way. Those things going to affect you. But in the final analysis, is there something that you could do apart from prayer, meditation, exercise, your diet as well? There are things that you could use. That nerve restore product that we have is a product called an adaptogen. That product actually helps your body deals with stress. It is also a free radical scavenger. You know what is a free radical scavenger? A free radical scavenger actually goes in the body and sorts out free radicals and takes them out of the body, because free radicals is responsible for what we call oxidative stress and breaking down the body. That's why I always tell you, one of the things we have to do just now is something called corporate wellness, where if it is you are in a particular position, because one of the points I was going to make, I don't remember something I was going to say, when they talk about the vagrants and that kind of thing, they're not going to, remember, vagrant normally, them fellas, and they might see they pass somewhere to a little fruit tree, they might scale a wall, or it might have mango. So they eat pretty well, you know, compared to the rest of us. Because one of the points I'm making is that sometimes when you have finances, you start to get fancy. You don't want provision again. You don't want provision to eat again. You want your portion now. You want a particular type of white rice, and you want particular types of meat and particular types of alcohol, and then you start to get big and fat. Because what? Prosperity. You want prosperity in a different way. You getting big and fat is not prosperity. And that's what we have to understand. And if it is you in a work or a job environment where you're a director, you own a company or some kind of thing, well, also, or people like ourselves, so need to take even better care of ourselves. Because mentally and emotionally, you are stressed out. When you own a business, you're not a 8 to 4, you know. When you go home after your business, your brain don't stop working, you know. So you need to be taking, watch me, nerve restore. I just take my nerve restore every day. Every day I taking it, because I know mentally the amount of stress that I have to deal with, and it helps me to manage the stress properly. And stress is just that you need to manage stress. Stress is not going anywhere because we do not live in a perfect world. We don't have perfect children. We don't have perfect spouses. We don't have perfect, oh God, well, don't talk about the in-laws, Jesus Christ. Yeah, you need about 6 nerve restore for some of them. Just to keep your mouth shut and say, may God bless you. That's all.
Is there
yeah, 6 nerve restore. Now I'm talking here, I might be able to go back home, you know. with what I just said there. I might get locked out. Yeah, 6 nerve restore for some of them in-laws and them.
Let me ask you this. Has there ever been any study, and I think I heard you mention this before, you know, but before you go on, let me just say a good morning to my brother and his wife Kina, Michael and his wife Kina. They're in the US of A. They're tuning in. They just tuned in with us. Thank you so much. I was trying to remember the exact place that he's in. I don't know why. Oh, Virginia. Yes, Virginia. From Virginia, right? Nice. So let me say good morning to them. They're just tuning in, and they're loving. They said, "Let me say, love the guest speaker, and the topic is on point." Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
I was going to ask, because I think I heard you mention it before. Was there any study done or that you know about with the particular types of jobs or that could become that is considered very stressful.
Yeah, of course.
Or
definitely. Psychiatrists. In the professional world, the highest suicide rate is among psychiatrists and social workers. When you sit down and hear people problems on a daily, because remember, if you're a psychiatrist or psychologist, you have to sit down and listen to all sorts of things. You have people who were victims of abuse, whether it's sexual, physical, emotional abuse. And people don't understand there's something called transference. And that's one of the things, because we are not only a physical body, and I always tell people that, you know. So when you sit down, and there are people in this world who are givers. They give, and they never receive. So you're going to reach a point where you're going to end up empty, you know. It's like a glass. You give, and eventually, if you do not know to put back, you will end up very sick. And even the work that I do, that's one of the first things we had to learn. We had to learn, there was one of the textbooks we had is something called touch therapy, where we had to go through a whole set of things, where especially if it is you're using people who are massage therapists. One of the points I made last week, there are some massage therapists who will refuse to massage you if they know the stuff good. The thing is, I don't do it because I don't have time to practice massage, and I'm pretty rusty now for the number of years that I would have learned to do it. I mean, I know my basic things, but what I'm saying, there are certain things. There's something we do. There's something called grounding. I don't know if you ever heard about grounding. You know, right.
I was just going to ask you about that.
Grounding.
I was just going to ask you about it.
Somebody even talk about social work. When you want to sit down and listen to problems, Dion, it is toxic, you know. That's toxic, negative energy coming to you. You have to be able, now you cannot repel that just like that, but you have to be able to now ground yourself. How do you ground yourself? That's where meditation comes in. That's where prayer comes in. That is where, as I said, grounding. So you would notice there are some people when they do massages, they may not do it when you're in the room. There are ways that they hit their hand like this. They would go on a wall, like a concrete wall or something like that, and they keep hitting their hands. Well, not too hard to damage yourself. Then what you could do, you go barefoot. We call it grounding, where you actually walk, but you walk on clean soil. So because there's actually something known as transference, where you can transfer energy, and even from authority figures aspect, when it is you go to a doctor, you know, you can transference is something where you can actually, from an emotional and psychological perspective, you start to look at that person in a different way and that kind of thing. So there are a number of things that you have to do. And then remember, in that kind of relationship, you need to remain professional. If you're a psychiatrist and you sleep with your patient, you're in problems, you know. That's something that is, you know, that you cannot do. That is something that completely frowned upon rather, because it interferes with the professional relationship that you should have with the person. Right? And that's a serious thing. So grounding, we understand frequency. That's why it's so good to take a sea bath. That's why it's so good to go and do meditation. Meditation is not for you, no. Meditation, sorry, is not for people. Meditation is for you. And people associate meditation with religion, and it is not. Spirituality and religion is two completely different things, you know. I always tell people it could be spiritual and not religious, you know. They're two completely different things. So when you're talking about meditation, what really is meditation? Meditation is just you taking time for yourself, deep breathing, you know, and you release different types of, you know, as I said, you go to the sea bath. People talk about the sea and they associate it with necromancy and that type of thing. When people tell you go and take a sea bath and, you know, you need, but that's a serious thing, because the energy and the frequency that you get from nature is healing. Look, even trees, certain types of tree with grounding. Like there's a doctor, they call him the tree doctor, where he does actually have people hugging, like actually hugging up trees. But all trees you can't hug. There are trees you'll go to hug and it will literally throw you, it will throw you off. Yeah, because of the energy and the frequency and the vibration. The human bodies are amazing thing, you know. Amazing. The gift that
some of them treat them up.
Sorry?
Them have hands on it, Dr. Batson.
Yes, of course. Well, I mean, I tell you, one hug up the tree naked. Beyond I send you to hug up the tree naked. Yourself. You go and hug up the tree naked and got some bad chuck there, deal with where you get. So don't go and hug up any tree that's naked. Oh Lord. Oh gosh, what's bad? This program good today. If I didn't miss this program, I would have been vexed with me if I didn't miss this program. I nearly still, you know. Because I went to the gym early this morning. I nearly stay up all day. Oh God, I'm glad I ain't stay up. So I took it.
Shed yourself from all worldly. You shed yourself from all worldly things.
That's like I tell persons, you have to do the mirror test, you know. I tell people that mirror test, you must do the mirror test. Watch yourself. Take off all your clothes. Make sure you are alone home because some all you can't be naked among people. Plain talk, bad manners. Some it can't be because gravity has gotten to some of y'all. You know, no fault of your own. You must make about 5, 6 children. So you know. But on a serious oh gosh, no. But I mean, in all seriousness, you know, do the mirror test. Look at yourself. Nobody like you more than you, apart from God. As I always tell people that. So you gotta like yourself. And health, good health, is the best gift that you can get. I tell you, one of the best books I ever read, The Richest Man in Babylon, is who wrote that book? By that's Napoleon Hill, I think. The man talk about money. He talk about financial wealth. But when you get into the book, the first aspect that he spoke about was your physical, emotional, psychological, mental health. This body, this. Because if you don't have this, there is nothing. You could take the wealthiest man in the world, take away all his money, especially if he's a true entrepreneur, and throw him any part of the world and give him a 5 years. And you go and find him, he's a millionaire again. If he is healthy. But if you take somebody with no health, you're not healthy, you're sick, all kind of thing wrong with you. You ain't going to last. What you could do? What you could do? You can't do nothing if you're sick. I hate to be sick. Hate. Absolutely hate to be sick. I'm the most miserable sick person you could come about. Because I cannot function and do what... And the thing is, we take health for granted, you know. It's only when you're sick. You can imagine you lie down on a bed. You can imagine you can't bathe yourself, my dear. You get a stroke, you can't bathe yourself. You can imagine you can't feed yourself. That ain't right. That is no way to live. I always tell people, you see dialysis. That's why I always beg people with high blood pressure, do not take high blood pressure. High blood pressure is not a game. It is not a joke. If your blood pressure is always high all the time, something is wrong with you and you need to fix it, because if you don't do that, in about 2 to 5 years, a dialysis machine has your name on it. So what you need to do all now is let them take off the name. You don't want that. You don't want to be any part of that. You don't want to go down there. I am not going down there. I remember there was a point in time, early there was some things business-wise, and I was stressed out. When I test my pressure, like I had my pressure 185 and all kind of thing, I say, see, this nonsense. I am not to die now. I start back my exercise. I start to meditate. I do so, and my blood pressure come right back down to which part it's supposed to be. So, like with everything else, you need to nip it in the bud. Deal with it one time. Don't leave it and let, you know, according to people, it kusume and the thing is not seasoning. When you're seasoning chicken here or fish, leaving it to marinate for what? Deal with it one time. They tell you you're diabetic, you're pre-diabetic, and you're serious in the matter. You come and let Batson deal with you. And let me tell you something. As I was telling somebody the other day, a client of mine, because we have testimonies galore. Yeah, right now I tell them there's a young man I dealt with the other day who had some serious issues. And when I saw the young man came to see me Friday, watch me, that's one of the reasons I say, I just do what I just do. Because watch me, complete transformation, and you would not believe it's the same person we saw a month ago. He said, Dr. Batson, the person is not an old age, you know. Well, not an old person, rather, what I should say. But the situation is a complicated situation. And situations like that, people usually don't get better. And this person, in a month time, they're about 60% better than they was before.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was just, and watch me, what they used was a fraction of what was recommended. But of course, because of the budget, they was able, and they still was able to attain some magnificent results. All right, people. So, Sky, I have spoken enough about things that I didn't have intention of speaking, but all in all, with this go, I hope it was beneficial in any case. So let us now get back to our lines and discuss our depression and our anxiety and any other questions that you have. Facebook family, thank you very much for watching. They on Facebook, I can't even keep up. They're on a roll today, right? And of course, our Instagram family, a pleasant good morning to you guys. So to the phone lines, Dion.
All right, so I have to give these folks who were sending these messages from the beginning first preference, right? So someone is saying, "Good morning, Dr. Batson. I have been going through this problem for a while now. I have several fibroids and endometriosis and bleeding for more than a month.
Whoa!
But it's not heavy. I was given an injection, but the bleeding is still there. I am now told that I have to do a hysterectomy. I'm 50 years old, also having low blood counts.
Yeah.
Can you please share some feedback?
The thing with endometriosis, endometriosis is basically thickening of the uterine lining, right? Now, an individual who suffers from endometriosis will experience a lot of the symptomology that she spoke about, the bleeding. So you usually have a situation with low blood count. But let me tell you what causes endometriosis. Endometriosis is a high level of inflammatory response in that uterine area. Now, your body depends significantly on proper circulation, blood circulation. So a female who has endometriosis does not have sufficient circulation in the womb and the uterine area in the gastrointestinal system. So as a result of that stagnation and that lack of proper blood circulation, remember, blood transports what? Oxygen and nutrients to what? Cells. Good? So it means they're not getting that oxygen exchange. You're not getting movement. It's like what I was talking about with the mosquito water, with the water, stagnant water. So the environment is one that is conducive to endometriosis, fibroids, polycystic ovaries. So, okay, how are we going to fix that? There's a product that we carry at Batson Associates, which is not to get disrespectful or graphic. It is an insert that women would have to use. It normally lasts about 2 weeks. I'm very impressed with the product. It is a little on the pricey side as compared to other products that we carry. But it is worth every cent because what it does, it detoxifies the uterus, the vagina, that whole aspect of the female. So what you find is that it actually brings back balance and it brings back the pH balance. pH is the next thing that affects women as it relates to their endocrine system and that type of thing. I'm not an advocate of surgery, unless it is emergency surgery. A hysterectomy, I'm worse yet not an advocate of, because you have to understand that your uterus is not only for procreating. One of the excuses the doctors will say, well, you already make children, so you don't need it. Note to self, he or she is not God. And God in his wisdom, when he created the human body, there was a reason why he gave you a uterus, right? You can drive a car without a windscreen to the front. You can't drive the car. But if rain decides to fall, you'll be wet when you reach your destination, right? So it means that you can live, but it's the quality of life that you're going to enjoy or not enjoy as a result of that. So I would use that as a last resort. I suggest you could always get onto us. That particular product that I'm referring about, is that detox for that entire aspect of your body. And people don't understand how detoxifying is so important and detoxifying every area of the body. There's also a product we carry called Cyst and Fibroid Formula. Very, very good product. It is designed primarily for doing just that, getting rid of cysts, fibroids, any sort of build-up in the uterus. Most women who have endometriosis, fibroids, ovarian cysts, and those like issues, when you do an abdominal pelvic ultrasound, their womb is usually about 2 or 3 times the size it's supposed to. It means it has what in there? Rubbish. There are things that are not supposed to be there. And that is going to cause problems. It's going to cause inflammatory response. And as a result of that, it causes issues. There's a product we carry called Women's Formula. Very good for that as well. I finally got back Enzyme Formula in stock. Powerful product. Powerful product. Because that is actually a digestive product that has the ability to eat and digest waste from in the system. So it actually helps to reduce the inflammatory response in the body. So you could always give us a call. I'm trying to get back. There was a uterine tea that I used to have, and we do have it in stock right now, but I sourced something we're working on. So God's willing, by the end of April, we should have it. Okay, let me say quickly that weight loss product, because I know a lot of you all went in the office and was asking for it. The Circulation Plus, keep in mind we're going to get that back at the end of April as well. And the weight loss product, which is Santulan Slim. So we're actually coming out with a new product, which is Santulan. Yeah, but we're bringing out a product called Santulan Slim, and that is designed for the thick people. The people who big and can't lose weight, that product is for all you. So God's willing, we should have that again by the end of April. We'll have everything organized.
So you always had Santulan Slim?
No, we have Santulan all the time. Santulan Slim is a new product. That's something that I've been working on for a while, because Santulan helps you lose weight. But I wanted a product where I could have the ingredient profile needed to change a bit, where we got a product now that was specifically designed for weight loss. I want, when I get that, so all these people, I want everybody in Trinidad with the biggest set of belly to come and use that product. And I'll take a little testimony after. That's all.
This person says here, good morning, Dr. Batson. Should diabetics eat rice? If yes, what kind of rice and how much?
Diabetics can eat rice, however, it should be in moderation. And you're looking at brown rice is a good option. I spoke extensively last week on quinoa. I am like a quinoa specialist now. I love it. I did so much research on it, I was realized, geez, why I didn't know about this all the time. So you need to mix your meals. One of the things I want to say quickly, I'm going to give them the telephone numbers just now and the address as to where to find us. One of the things I wanted to point out, too, is that we need to understand food combinations and come out from this old way of thinking where we believe that breakfast must be bread and some kind of something and a cup of tea. Breakfast could be provision, right? You know that, right? You could have some green fig. Okay, so let me give you an example. Diabetic person. Breakfast, some salad. Your salad could be some lettuce cut up with some spinach. Spinach is an easy thing to get. It's actually an easy thing to grow too. You could grow that. I don't know if you ever know. Do you only know what they call pui bhaji? You don't know pui bhaji? Pui bhaji.
No.
You know about pui bhaji? Pui bhaji is a bhaji. It's a smaller leaf. It's sweeter.
Right.
It's grown on a vine. Yeah, tastes real good. I love it. Yeah. You cut up that. And the thing is, make your meals interesting. People feel eating healthy is boring enough. It's not at all enough. You just need to put in the work. We have Google. After God is Google. After Google is YouTube. I always tell people that go on YouTube and you look and you will see. Miss Ashton say everything in moderation. I agree. But not everything. There are some things that should just not be there in the diet. So a diabetic breakfast, you could have a boiled egg, you have your salad. If you're so inclined, and my friend listening here will vex with me, a pleasant good morning to Miss Pauline McKenna. Pauline, they say, Dr. Batson, no, tell them no bread. But even if it is, you say you have a little small slice of whole grain bread, we wouldn't kill you for that. Okay? So you have your boiled egg, you have your vegetables, so you can cut up a little bit of some carrots with that. Make sure you want greens. Once you're diabetic, you always need to have green with your meal. And you have maybe a piece of sweet potato.
Greens.
Yeah. And if you're having your meat, it could be a piece of grill, preferably grill, steam, bake. If you're frying, you use some sensible oil, right? So whether you do a piece of chicken breast or maybe a slice of fish or some kind of thing. And that is a meal. You're now eating. You can't be getting up in the morning, you drink a cup of lady. When I ask people what they eat, it's been frustration. I was like, Jesus Christ, but you're not eating anything good. I remember asking a lady, I said, so tell me, what is that for breakfast? There's a diabetic. So well, I eat some crackers with a piece of some cheese and I drink a cup of coffee. I say, okay, good. What are you having for lunch? Well, I'll eat some rice, with a little bit of stewed chicken. And I said, what about the vegetables? No, just the rice and the stewed chicken. I said, okay, good. And what you having for dinner? Well, you did the same, a piece of bread, and I might have a little bit of sausage, and I'll drink a cup of coffee again. And I asked them after that, I said, you're wondering why you're sick? That is a perfect remedy for sickness. What you ain't eating, you ain't eat nothing with sense there. Everything that is just rubbish. You devoid of everything. You have it have no selenium, no zinc, no manganese, nothing inside of that food there. You just eating, there's a shell, that's rubbish. And you have diabetes. Sorry?
Is that every time she says she ate crackers and she just say good? Okay, good.
Yeah, but that's what I said. Because I listening.
She must be thinking, okay, I going good.
Yeah, okay, I going good. After that, I said, Mom, and you wonder why you're sick? She opened her big. She said, but Dr. Batson, what that mean? I said, you are eating total rubbish. I said, come, let me do a diet for you. So that's it. You must eat life-giving food, living food, living body, dead food, dead body. Let me make this point fasting. And next thing to always overcook the food too much. Jesus Christ. You just take it, especially if it's vegetables, you just do according to my grandmother. Wishwa. You take the spoon, you chill the water, ting, and that is it. You gotta do like the Chinese. You want some life in the vegetables still. We just overcook everything when you're done, and you raise up the carrot dead, the sweet pepper dead, the garlic dead, the onion dead, everything dead, because you overcook the thing. Heat destroys what? Enzymes. So that food have no life in it. So try and eat the things a little, as they say, some chunky veg, a little, you throw a little heat thing, and that's it. Your meat, same thing. You don't overcook meat. Barbecue is overcooked poison. That has nothing good in it. Plain talk, bad manners.
What is it? Overcooked poison?
Overcooked poison, yeah. You don't think it has nothing there. All the protein, everything dead inside of it. You just barbecue it, but you're going to smoke some cigarette. That is how bad barbecue is. Right? So let me give you those telephone numbers. The telephone numbers, you can give us a call on 222-8261. That's 222-8261, as well as 314-9975. That's 314-9975. Those locations, we are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That is Money Talks building in Montrose, Shogunas. We're also on the corner of Ramsamut Trace and the SS Area Main Road in Debe, as well as Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James, and the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. Okay, remember I'm doing a program tonight, so what I didn't get to discuss this morning, I'll discuss tonight. That'll be from 7 to 9, God's willing, and we will be live on Facebook, Batson Associates Limited. On Instagram, we are Batson Associates TT, and on YouTube, we are Batson Associates Trinidad. Yes, Mr. Beyonce. Yes, sir.
Somebody just sent a message and say stop eating on barbecue pigtail.
Serious?
Yeah. Stop eating on barbecue pigtail.
Jesus Christ. Watch me, the first time I hear that, Dion, well, I see it when I pass, and I was going on Grandy side, and that was the first time. That was some years ago. And I saw this sign. So I literally stopped by the side of the road to realize, because you can't drive and read properly. So I thought I wasn't seeing good. I was like, barbecue pigtail, boy? I said, no.
So that's along Valencia.
Along Valencia area there. I saw the sign the first time. But at that time it was new, because I know there was some barbecue place that was doing it. The thing is, barbecue is one thing. Grill is always better. So I always tell people, I mean, at the end of the day, people have to make the living. I'm not hating on anybody, understand why I say no. The cigarette company has never stopped making cigarettes. We know that, right? We still have cigarettes.
Yeah,
they have a big disclaimer on it. Legally, they have disclaimed. So if it is a smoking cigarette and you go and get cancer, you cannot sue the tobacco company or the government. They put on it, the government of Trinidad and Tobago, the Minister of Health advises that smoking is dangerous for your health. So you know what disclaimer is? So you smoke, you get cancer and you die, we are not responsible. So keep in mind that they will always have things out there that they will make that it have people will want. So nobody is saying no, I'm not saying no either. People have to make the living. So you just decide what you're putting into your body or not.
Someone has a question here. Hi, good morning. Hi, good morning. I would like to know if you can assist a little boy. He's 7 years old with diabetes. Wow, this is a very young age. He was 3 years old when he was diagnosed with diabetes. Now he's 7 years and he has been taking insulin.
Yeah. That's
from 3 to 7.
Yeah. So
could that diet be used for a 7-year-old child, or what could be done?
Of course, the diet could be used for a 7-year-old child. The problem with children when they are diabetic, remember, when you have diabetes, there's something you need to do. We call it, there's a simple saying in natural medicine, is bitter your blood. Now, so if the child has been trained in such a way from eating badly, or trained eating badly, sugar, soft drinks, snacks, and that type of thing, it is a little more difficult to deal with a child like that. If you started off the child with fruits and vegetables, well, then you would have been a better place. In fact, they may not have ended up a diabetic. And keep in mind, I'm not blaming you or casting blame here, but I'm just making a point. You should not introduce sugar to young children, and a lot of people do not know that. That is why I get so annoyed with people who give children soft drink, especially the one that is darker in hue. You are killing your children and you are lining them up for diabetes. But I can help that situation. But know from now, you have work to do. You have work to do, because if that child has already been climatized to eat in a particular way, you have your work cut out for you. You're going to have to be very strict with them. They're going to have to cry plenty, because what it is they want, they cannot get to eat. And you're going to have to give them things to eat. I mean, there are things that you can make things, the broccoli is good. You could introduce, like when I make salads for children, I tell them normally I would put like raisins, I would cut up some grapes, apple, in the salad. According to somebody, my salad is not salad, it's fruit bowl, but that's okay. Yeah, that's what when he says about Jason, that's a fruit bowl. I nearly died. I feel so ashamed. But you understand, it's a better option. Children should be given things like dates. Dates is very sweet. It is also very nutritious. Yeah. It's a very nutritious. Sorry, I don't know how people don't like dates. One of them tell me is look like a cockroach. I say, well, close your eye. Close your eye. Turn off the light and eat the cockroach. Yeah, you could make there's a let me say this very quickly. There's a cereal that you could actually make where they have an expensive one in the supermarket called muesli. I'm not trying to do any advertisement for anybody, but I believe if somebody has something good, you should highlight it. AGADS, which is the Nut House people, I was so glad that they came up with what they came up, because I think they offer some healthy options. So you could go and buy your cashew, your almonds, that kind of thing. And you can make your muesli. You get your oats and you mix up some cashew with almonds, you put a little bit of raisins, some cranberries in it. When you have that, all you need is some hot water and that, you don't need no milk and sugar. And that is what you should be giving children. Living food, as I said before, living body, dead food, dead body. Do not give children, the next thing that you do not give very young children all 2 and 3 years, is meat. Why are you giving children pork to eat? Are you out of your mind? Why are you giving children tinned beef and those things? Are you crazy? You'll get them sick. You're going to get them sick. They are at the age of development. Their diet should be as clean as possible. And when they're young, start them out with vegetables. Let me tell you, children don't automatically dislike vegetables. Don't let anybody fool you with that nonsense. Children, remember, the palate is a young palate. The palate is a clean palate. They are going to gravitate to what you give them first. Common sense made before book. So from the time you start to get them snack and sweet tea and soft drink, and boom, you come in and then they want to come and get each other sweet pepper and celery sticks to eat. They should hit you with it. They don't want that. You already, the palate already get accustomed to the sugar. So when you come and give them this bland, mundane thing to do, they're looking at like, nah, man, wait till you give me here. But if you started off with the bland thing first, they don't know what sugar is. That's they don't know what snacks is. They don't know what those things are. And when you do that, you realize that they will eat healthier. Once you did your job and give them a proper foundation, if they do foolishness in the later life, that's not your business. I give you a good foundation. As my great-grandmother said, go and blow your nose where you get cold. I didn't teach you to eat them foolishness, so don't come to me with that nonsense. But once I give you a proper foundation and you know about eating properly, we do not have an issue. Yeah, and you realize now, the schools, you realize what the schools doing? I think it's a little too late, but they started, thank God, where they stopped this soft drink and all this stupidness in the school because the children and them can't concentrate, and then you're telling them they have attention deficit hyperintensity disorder, which is just nonsense for saying that they're just laden with sugar, and the children need to run about. Children, once children eat sweet and you feed them badly, they're going to run whole like that child wouldn't sleep for you, you know. They will run up and down. You ought to do like a hamster, you got a wheel for them and put them in the run on it whole day and burn up that sugar. Stop giving your children foolishness to eat. Stop it. And this nonsense, but they don't like how it tastes or something. Let them ball along the place. Let them call police for you and not killing you. It's feeding you and trying to teach you what is the right thing to eat. Because later on, you see that example with that child? There was, not to give out too much, I deal with a child younger than that, and they was diagnosed earlier than that, and they was put on insulin. A child cannot be taking insulin. Insulin does damage your eyes. By the time that child reach 9 or 10, they can't see. If you live to be 20 years, you're lucky. Check anybody who have diabetes from young. There has been a mess, complete and total mess. Some of them on dialysis. That's where you want for your child? That's what you want? Come on, man.
Someone says here, Dr. Batson, morning to all. Dr. Batson, can polycystic kidney and renal failure be turned around? My sister-in-law has been sick for about 5 years now.
Okay, so renal failure. So which means the person on a dialysis machine already, or they're not on dialysis?
Okay, so we're hoping that the person...
Yeah, so I hope they hear and they respond. I'll answer in any case. If they are on dialysis, it is very difficult to reverse kidney problems with dialysis patients. I have seen it in my professional career. Practically, I've seen it happen 4 times for clients of mine. But I believe they came to me in the early stages. If it is you come to me and you're not on dialysis and your creatinine high, your bone high, your polycystic kidney, I can help you. If you're before the dialysis, you see the problem with dialysis, your body operates in this way. Use it or lose it. So when you start to dialyze, your kidneys say, well, all right, you don't need me, I need to go on a holiday. And it becomes less functional because you're now hooked up to a machine 3 times a week that's doing it for you. So why your kidneys sticking around and do what you need to do? They're obviously going to become lethargic. They're going to be less functional. Once an organ is not dead, clinically dead, the organ has the ability to be rejuvenated. I have seen it on numerous occasions, but you have to be willing to do the work. And as I always say, with renal problems, your kidney is an unforgiving organ. It really requires work. But I've helped hundreds of people with kidney problems. I've helped prolong the dialysis where they took longer to actually go on dialysis. And in all honesty, the ones who ended up on dialysis, they just didn't keep up the protocol and the diet. You need to be very careful when your kidneys, when you're seeing high bond, high creatinine, when you do the GFR, which is glomerular filtration rate, to give you the stage at which the kidney reached. I have helped someone who was stage 3B to go up to stage 2. And we did that over a year. So it is possible, but it is work. And you have to be willing to do the work because I can't do the work for you. I could just guide you.
Someone is asking here, hi, good morning. Dr. Batson, do you have anything for HIV?
Of course, man. I have everything for anything. Keep that in mind. Everything for anything. The thing with me, I just know what to say and how to say it. I can help in anybody, you know. Anybody. And this is no boast. It's just a practical point. My understanding of clinical nutrition is unmatched. I think in the world, I've been very honest, I'm really, really good at what I do. And I take what I do to heart. I understand a lot of things. I was fortunate from the inception of my career to work. I was like, God, I used to say, when I say in my prayers, I used to say, God, like you send all the hard case to make me good at what I do. And in reality, that's what really happened. I had a lot of cancer patients to deal with. I got severe diabetics to deal with. I had a lot of hypertension and kidney patients to deal with. So I had no other choice but to research and work. And I'm the type of person, if I custom bringing A to deal with a particular problem, and I get people that A that was working on everybody else is not working on you, I now have the responsibility to go and find something to help you. Not so? So hence the reason why I have always bettered my game. So I'll give you an example. When we had IOPT, we only used to carry one eye drop. We used to carry iOptics formula, which is a product specifically for my organization. And that eye drop was amazing. Not was amazing, it is amazing. It helps with cataract, glaucoma, detached retina, a number of things. But then there was a point in time I started to get a lot of cataract patients, but the cataract patients that I was getting were persons with severe or advanced cataracts. So the eye optics formula was working for like the early stages and like mid-stage cataract. But when we started to get people with really bad cataracts, it wasn't working as quickly as I wanted. So of course I was dissatisfied because I want my clients to get the results that they come for. So I did some research and I checked and I digged and I spoke to some colleagues in China and India and that type of thing. And then I found a particular eye drop that has an ingredient in it. And the ingredient is one that is used in Ayurvedic medicine. And it is used specifically for advanced cataracts. So what do you think yours truly did? I went, I did some investigations, I made some calls, and I got the eye drop. I have to get it. And I got it and I started bringing it to Trinidad. Then started getting people with a lot of glaucoma. And the eye optics formula was working very good for glaucoma. But I found with open angle glaucoma, I wasn't getting the results that I wanted. So guess what I did? I went and I looked again. I did research, I checked. And then I came across something called MSM, which is a long methyl sulfate something. And I realized that what it does, it increases it removes metabolic waste from the eyes. So it would always be optimal for someone who has glaucoma. And what did I do? I started to bring it. So the point I'm making is that you have to always better your best. You know? I'm not saying, because there are some people who come to me and sometimes I'm baffled. I mean, it's a rarity when I get a case and I look and wonder, but I want you to get better and I love what I do. So I have to make sure to find an answer for you. There are very few people who have come to us and I told them I cannot help them. You know? Very, very few. If I tell you that, no is either because it's too late. And I usually find that with advanced stages of cancer patients, because again, not criticizing the medical system or anything like that, but you see, you have to understand that when you do chemotherapy and radiation, which is always a choice that an individual has, you will severely damage your body. Whether your cancer goes into remission or not is a next thing. But once you do chemo and radiation, your body is severely damaged. With a body like that, you need to have a proper protocol designed by someone like myself who understands clinical nutrition and understands nutrition for specific diseases. Because that's primarily what my work is, you know. Right? You bring somebody with HIV, for me, you bring somebody with herpes, you bring somebody, anything. We're dealing with it. But we have to understand that we need to put certain things in place. And in some cases, it might require some research. Like I had someone who had MS, which is multiple sclerosis, which is a severe, and it was advanced. And I was able to help them. Because you see, once your kidney's not too damaged, I could work with you. But it always gets hard when you are someone who has been medicated heavily. Chemotherapy, radiation. Whenever you do chemotherapy and radiation, one of the things the doctors have to do is check what? Your kidneys. A simple thing as a CT scan. If you have kidney problems, sometimes doctors cannot perform CT scans on you because the dyes that they need to use, the contrast, is too strong, and the contrast could damage your kidneys. You know, a lot of people don't know that, right? So it depends on what it is you're dealing with, but there's always an answer to the issue that you're having. Hypertension. It was the same thing with high blood pressure. Before we have the hypertension T, there's a product that we have called advanced circulation. Those products were exceptional for hypertension. But then I started getting people with blood pressure, and those products wasn't working for them. So what did I do? I went, I did research, and I found that tea. And I realized, well, okay, if I take this tea and they mix this tea with this tea, and we mix this with this, and of course I got some advice from people who I know who are biochemists, and they said, well, here what we had to do, Jason. Well, they call me first name basis. Jason, we're gonna have to do this, and do that. And then we got a tea that works excellent. It's olive leaf, but olive leaf is not the only ingredient in the tea. The thing is, we had some problems getting it because of COVID, but we haven't subsequently fixed that situation. But everybody who used that product, the pressure does go down. So as I say, there's always an answer. There's always something out there to help you, is if you're willing to do the work. Okay?
Somebody's asking here, good morning, what can I use for vertigo?
Vertigo, it has vertigo and vertigo. Okay, so vertigo is the dizziness. I always mix it up with vertigo, which is the skin situation. Vertigo is a situation where you have problems with blood going to your brain, so you have a lot of dizziness. Usually, people who have problem with dizziness usually have an issue with the amount of blood going to the brain. So what we need to do is improve what is known as pulmonary circulation. Pulmonary circulation is circulation above your heart, right? So you have two types of circulation primarily. Pulmonary is above the heart, systemic is below the heart, right? So we need to improve your pulmonary circulation. Optimizer, number 1 on the list. Circulation T, number 2. Well, actually, alkaline water is number 1, depending on the water that you drink. Santulan is there, yes, but because you need to do a cleanse, but you're looking at optimizer, circulation T. The IT is also very good as well, because I find that IT helps with circulation in the cerebral hemisphere. Okay, so that's something that you could take into consideration.
All right, so let's check here. Someone is saying here, good morning. All right. Good morning. My daughter had an operation because of endometriosis.
Mm-hmm.
She had a
hysterectomy.
Hysterectomy, but they left part of her ovary.
Right.
She's now suffering with Crohn's disease and possibly lupus. I'm so upset, but she also lives abroad.
Okay. But the thing is, when you're dealing with Crohn's and lupus and diseases that are normally characterized as autoimmune conditions are really diseases that, well, it's really a situation where the body is basically overloaded with toxins and high levels of inflammation. So usually the diagnosis, and this is where I tell persons that a diagnosis is not important. I feel sorry for people with lupus. I really feel sorry, but I feel some of them just, and again, this might sound harsh, because the thing is, if you're doing the same thing over and over, and you're getting the same result, you need to try something different. You don't think so? You're doing the same thing over and over. You have lupus for 10 years, well, okay. Well, you're doing it clearly not working, so you need to try something else. I mean, they don't know maths and physics, chemistry inside of that. Because what they're going to do, give you prednisolone, how much prednisolone you could get? Then when you're done, you have diabetes, then you're blind, you can't see. People with lupus suffer. That's why they don't live long. Most lupus patients don't live long. They die very quickly. They suffer, all kind of things go wrong with them. Then they might diagnose you with MS or some sort of inflammatory situation. But you have to understand, in the final analysis, what is the root cause of your problem? And the diet, as I said, if you're eating all these inflammatory things, you could be doing something healthy. You might be exercising. You might be doing meditation. You might be in the gym. But you can't be doing those things and eating badly. You'll go 10 steps forward, 50 steps backward. You will never reach your destination. Okay?
So this person has a question here. The person who mentioned about the polycystic kidney, Dr. Batson.
Yes.
And the renal failure.
They said
she's on dialysis 3 days. So I'm not sure if she's saying 3 days now, but she's on dialysis 3 days. So I'm guessing 3 days for the
3
week.
days 3 days for the week. What I could do with sorry, go ahead.
She's 49, but she is stage 5 renal failure, I believe they're saying.
Yeah. What I could do, I could help with the other aspects of the body. So if they have problems with diabetes, I could help with the blood sugar, I could help with the blood pressure, I could help overall with improving the body in its overall, its overall capacity. Because there are a lot of dialysis patients I deal with, and they tend to their energy level improves, they sleep better. In some cases, there were dialysis patients I dealt with who weren't urinating and they started back urinating. That was incredible, because you reach a stage on dialysis where you do not urinate. Watch me, Trinidad and Tobago, think about that. Think about that. Just think about what I just said. You reach a stage in your life where you cannot urinate enough. You could imagine what will happen to your urethra, what will happen to your bladder. Those things will just start to get hard inside of there. That's mad. The 70% of the human body is water. Right? Okay. Next question.
Next question goes like this. How can one deal with Parkinson's disease?
Okay, so someone who has Parkinson is a neurological disorder. So it primarily, you need to target the organ system. So the organ system is central nervous system. You will have to do some work on the gastrointestinal system because that most likely was the root cause, right? I would recommend Optimizer. I would recommend Cerebral. We actually got Cerebral back in stock, you guys. I would recommend coconut oil. Get some cold pressed coconut oil. A teaspoon of coconut oil every day. That does wonders for the brain, right? And the person going to have to do some sort of exercise as it relates, yeah, some sort of exercise somehow. So I don't know the person's age, I don't know the physical abilities, that type of thing. If mobility is there. Exercise is the next thing, try and have somewhere, somehow in your regime. I know it's very difficult with your work hours and that type of thing, but and the thing is, people don't understand exercise don't have to be any big fancy elaborating where you have to go in the gym and thing, You could just
be a nice little walk, some stuff at home.
That's it. You get, especially persons who are a little more mature. I tell people, stairs is your best friend. You have steps, start walking up the stairs, up and down, up and down. What that is going to do for you, it is going to start to elevate your breathing. It's going to improve your lungs. It's going to start to improve your cardiovascular system. It is also going to help your joints. One of the biggest mistakes elderly people do is stop using stairs. Say, oh God, my knee. Yeah, from the time you see that knee start to give you trouble, when you're climbing stairs, fix it. Go and buy some sea moss, start to drink your sea moss. There's an omega that we carry at Batson & Associates that has astaxanthin in it. Get some of that and start to deal with it. Don't make excuses for being old enough. We are the Western world has made it a business out of making excuses for older persons. The Asians haven't done that. I always tell people, look at Japan. The life expectancy for the average male in Japan is 84 years. Females, 85, 86. Average life expectancy. What it is they're doing different that we're not doing. Where's the life expectancy in Trinidad? I don't know. I'll leave all it answer.
Let me just give a shout out to Marilyn. Marilyn she says she's enjoying the conversation. With us today. So thank you so much, Marilyn. Most blessings to you. Someone here says here, good morning. What are the health benefits of peanut butter and also black pepper?
Okay, well, the thing with peanut butter is a healthy fat. Now, you have some contradiction because they tell you when peanuts itself, you need to be careful how you eat it because it kind of, does cause some issues with pathogens, that type of thing. But peanut butter itself, and actually, interestingly, just this morning I was reading that, right? Because it is actually a good source of protein. It's also a good source of fat. So it's something that actually helps for healthy weight gain, like muscle. And it's also something to help as an appetite suppressant. A lot of people do not know that. If you want to lose weight, peanut butter can actually help you lose weight because of its protein content. And you could actually use it. I put it in smoothies and would drink it, right? And that's something that could actually help. So it's not a bad thing. What you may need to do is look at your brands because some of them, I think the sugar is too much. They put a lot of sugar in it. You have like cashew butter and almond butter. Those tend to be a little more expensive. But the oils in them are very healthy. There was a study that they did some time ago from Harvard where they look at the importance of having nuts in the diet, where it actually helps with proper brain formation and proper brain maintaining memory and that type of thing. That's one of the reasons why we have so many persons with Parkinson, vascular dementia, Alzheimer's, is because they do not have sufficient omegas in the diet. Omega is fundamental in your diet. It is fundamental. You must have it. And you have to have it in large amounts to prevent things like salinity, vascular dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson, issues associated with erectile dysfunction, issues associated with eyesight. Do you know that collagen is vitally important to your eyes? People who end up with floaters are people who have collagen deficiency. Collagen is what? That's very important for your skin, your eyes, your hair. Someone was asking on Facebook there, what can I do for thinning hair? Oh God, there's a product I promised only for the longest while. I just waiting on these people and them. But one of the things that is very good for hair growth is something called royal jelly. It's very good for your hair. So that's something that you could pay close attention to.
Royal jelly. Someone is asking here, is there a medication for hemorrhoids?
Yes, there is. Well, it's already a medication. Hemorrhoids is to get rid of hemorrhoids, you have to make some lifestyle changes. So it means you need to have more hydration in the diet. So alkaline water would help you. You need to have better bowel movement. Santulan could help you in that situation. More fiber in your diet, which is something you can do home. Get some chia seeds, what they call chia or chai. Chai is very slimy when it gets wet or it's soaked in water. But the advantage with chia seeds or chai seeds is that it absorbs 10 times its weight in water. So what it does, when you use it and it gets into the intestines, it pulls water. And what water does, water expands. It expands in the wall of the intestines and actually helps to clean your intestines. And of course, it has healthy oils, right? I suggest a tablespoon of olive oil every day. And then what you could do, there's a mineral formula that we carry with Dr.Batson and Associates. You get that, you drink 2 ounces every day with 8 ounces of water. And there's a gel to that product I think we should have in stock that you could always call and you could get it. And once you use that, you're going to be all right. The thing is, when the hemorrhoids get really bad, it's a key indicator that the lining and the circulation in the gastrointestinal system is beginning to be compromised, which is a bad compromise. You don't want that, because that opens you out to things like Crohn's irritable bowel syndrome, diverticulitis, and various other inflammatory bowel conditions.
Definitely. Let's see here. Dr. Batson, someone is asking, what is chlorophyll good for? I see a lot of people selling that now.
Yeah, well, thank God they do. I know this is something. They're listening to my program.
Don't say it, Dr. Batson.
They're listening to my program, but that's a good thing. I'm glad to see when people, more people get, health conscious, and just be careful because it has some people, and this is again not criticizing anybody, and I'm not hating on anybody. Well, hustle is a word I don't like, and I'll tell you why I don't like that word. Because if you're a hustler, sometimes you don't do things the way you're supposed to do it.
You're right,
so just be very careful. Like I had to embarrass one of my family members the other day because they was fast and out of the place to see me and ask me, "Hey, you still doing that herbs thing you was doing?" I say, "Herbs thing, yeah." I was woefully offended. I say, "You stupid or something or what?" I say, "You don't realize?" No, just so I tell them, I say, "You stupid." I said, "That is my profession. You're a clown. Why are you asking me? That is not a hustler. He's not a hustler." I always tell people, if you come wrong with me, that talk I'm embarrassing you one time. I'm not a hustler. This is my profession. I take this very seriously. I went to school, I studied, and this is what I do as a profession. I'm a professional in this field. Good? So people like that, this is serious business, right? So the point I'm making, chlorophyll is exceptionally good. It is a deodorizer, one. If it is, you have a problem with, your under your arm, little boss, you smell a little bad, big people talking here because it could happen. It is usually an indication that you need a detox, primarily 7 channels. So kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. So that's one of the things that chlorophyll does. Chlorophyll also is a nutrient-dense greens. What does that mean? It means that it is going to help you with your iron. It is one of the best things I use and recommend for people to build their blood count. You can't go wrong with that. It's a deodorizer. I tell people the other day, a good friend of mine said, but I'm not smelling you. What is going on with you? You're there. I was like, I said, but how you could tell me that? Because you literally, it cleans your body out so well that your perspiration, you don't be smelling, badam and that kind of thing. Your scalp. I remember when I was younger, I used to have problems with my scalp, but that's when I was younger. But when I was younger, I didn't used to drink a lot of water. It's only when I reached a certain age, I started to delve into medicine and all whatever. I understood certain things. Right? We have a call?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's see who's there. Hello, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Dr. Batson.
Yes, please.
Sorry, let me
Yes, please.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
Take it off, darling.
Right, thank you.
Come, Sonny San Fernando. Come on then. Yes, go ahead.
What can somebody take? Like, if the person has like that, the infection problem, infection, what they can use? Thank you.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, I heard it. I heard
You heard it.
Yeah, I heard it.
Somebody used, I think, that the infection problem. I think the person had an operation some years ago.
Wait, let me see if I get the word. Let me see if I get the word correct. Is
But I know they have an infection problem right now, you know?
Are you saying an infection problem?
infection or erection? Infection.
Yes. Can I put things with you?
Just hold on. We just want to clarify. You're saying infection
or
Yes,
erection?
Infection.
Or infection.
Okay, what kind of infection? You said
I think they're more like a yeast, you know?
Yeast infection.
Like,
So she's talking about
more like that. When I sleep,
STD?
I always find out one.
No,
And you always
yeast
tell me,
infection.
can I let you know more,
Okay,
yeast
good. No
infection.
problem.
Yes,
Okay.
okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Bye.
You're welcome, my dear. Yeah, so the thing is, if you're having frequent infections, and what the fact is saying, you're talking about a yeast infection. So yeast is a fungus that lives in the body, primarily intestines. Most pathogens are supposed to be in the intestinal area, right? The problem with yeast is that you could end up with what is known as candida. Yeast is primarily something known as Candida albicans. And what that does is that when it becomes overgrowth in the system, it can end up with what we call systemic yeast, which is one of the worst things to have. It could cause migraines, it could cause polycystic ovaries, fibroids, ovarian cysts, mental problems, all sorts of things. Because you have neurotoxins that leave the intestines and go up into the brain. And of course, they are nerve toxins. They are poisonous to the nerves. And they could cause a number of problems, depression, anxiety, insomnia, and the list goes on, right? So that person would need the silver with the mineral formula. The product that we have for the woman, as I said, that product is an insert product, is a 2-week supply, and you normally have to use it out for the 2 weeks. I was very impressed with that product, with the results that we got so far with persons, because it really helped them with a number of things: endometriosis, fibroids, polycystic ovaries, ovarian cysts, yeast. There was a person I dealt with who had bad, I mean, it was atrocious. It's like every month this woman had a yeast infection, and she used that and we were able to clear it up. All right, so that's something that you need to pay close attention to.
Okay, someone is asking here, is there anything nutritional about saffron rice?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's rice you're eating, but I mean, if you put saffron or turmeric in it, well, then obviously it's going to be healthier. In fact, I have a, let me say a pleasant good morning to Mr. Bingi in Tobago. You know, Bingi's wife is the person responsible for dealing with my meals when I'm in Tobago. And usually, whenever I eat, and when I eat Tobago, I just eat good, and oh boy, Jesus Christ. Yeah, boy, I was like myself in a provision galore. And this lady could
Where's that?
No,
Where's that exactly?
No. This food is actually.
Oh, you don't have a.
Yeah, so it's not a restaurant.
Okay.
The food is prepared for me. Yeah, being
Is
Israel.
that Big Papi? Is that Big Papi?
No, well, I just live good, I just live good. Thank God. And when you live good, you know what they say, when you do good, goodness follow you, right? Yeah. So Miss Bingi, Mrs. Bingi does make sure and take good care of me. And usually when she cooks, she actually uses turmeric. I honestly thought it was curry, but when I tasted it, I was like, this can't be curry, but and it's turmeric they actually use, and it was very healthy. So if you put turmeric and saffron in your rice, obviously it's better. It's going to be better. It's something, turmeric is actually something you should cook with more. Turmeric, ginger, those type of things. So, you know, you get a lot of benefit, because we know the nutritional benefits of ginger and turmeric. Turmeric is anti-inflammatory. The thing is, you can't use too much of turmeric. I mean, but if you put turmeric to cook fish or something like that, I mean, you ain't going to use a whole barrel of turmeric. The thing is, if you're drinking turmeric, I always recommend you use, you use like an inch and a half, and you grate it, and you could actually steep it and have it as a tea. You could do that like about twice for the week, but you can't use turmeric every day. You need to be careful. I mean, maybe if you was in an accident or something like that, and you're trying to prevent any blood clots and those type of things, good, no problem. Just a week and then after that you're finished. But you know you need it in moderation where that is concerned.
Someone is, okay, let's take this call really quick. Hello, good morning, welcome. Could you just lower your radio for us, please? Could you just lower your radio for us, please, sir?
Batson.
Could you just lower your radio for us, please, sir? We want to make sure that we hear you well.
Yeah.
We're getting a feedback here.
From the radio, yeah.
Dr. Batson.
Yes, sir.
I want to ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
What do you have to improve blood circulation in the brain?
Okay, what do I have? First, circulation, improve blood circulation in the brain?
Something that could buy so that I could improve my blood circulation in my brain.
Yes, sir. There's a product we carry called Optimizer. That and the circulation tea, those are two products that help in that situation. The cerebral is more geared for memory, concentration, cognitive function, that kind of thing. Yeah. So we have stuff to deal with that.
Okay, someone is asking here. Someone is saying, good morning. Can you ask Dr. Batson to post is quinoa? Is that how you pronounce it?
Quinoa. Yeah, Q is Quinoa.
Right, quinoa recipes on his Facebook page. And secondly, please also put exactly how to eat during intermittent fasting. So they're asking if you can put that on your page. If we could do that?
Okay, no problem. You give me you give me some homework, so I will do that.
Okay.
I will do that.
They said here, good morning, Dr. Batson. In the case of it looks like it's a uterine
uterine infection.
Uterine. Okay, yeah, uterine prolapse.
Oh, okay. That's a good question. Prolapse is always.
Is there anything that you can recommend? I was told that a hysterectomy is the next step.
For uterine prolapse. No, them is mad people out. Why you want to cut out somebody's whole womb because the uterus prolapse? No. The thing is, what is caused prolapse? The muscles in the abdominal area and the uterus, even the bladder. Because what happens, women during pregnancy, sometimes depending on where the fetus was, it rests on the bladder for a number of for those months. And what happens, the bladder gets weak. All women, especially in their younger years, supposed to do Kegel exercises. You all know what Kegel exercises is? Or are? Go on YouTube and you will see. So Kegel exercises are exercises that work the vaginal area, the abdomen, that kind of thing. So it keeps that area tight, especially when you have had children. It is very unfortunate that most women, our country, and that's one of the things I want to develop later on, do not have a proper program for rehabilitation with women, for women after pregnancy. All women, if it is, you're pregnant, you have a bread in the oven, you're expecting something, take care of yourself. Pregnancy is not sickness. A lot of y'all, when you're pregnant, you do not exercise. I mean, of course, doctor's orders, check yourself, but sometimes pregnancy is not sickness. You don't lie down whole day and exercise, move, do your Lama's class. You don't have to go in no class now, everything online. You go and pull up little exercise video and you could do your Kegel exercises, do breathing exercises, because it's very important to have a strong core. The problem with a lot of people, do you know that your health is directly proportionate to not only the size of your waist, but the strength of your core? I'm not saying everybody have to have a six-pack, but the stronger your core is, the healthier it is. It's harder for you to end up with things like prolapse and those type of things, especially as a female. So it might mean you need to do some floor exercises, get a proper mat, lie down on the ground, do some what they call side swipes. So you take your legs, you put it up, don't hit your foot together, and you put it at a certain angle, then you raise your foot up and down, that kind of thing. And the thing is, once you do those things, you maintain a healthy weight. It is difficult when you're a little on the bigger side or the obese side to lie down on the floor and do abdominal exercises. I mean, I'm not laughing at anybody. You are not trying to be facetious. You ever see people when they're obese, to go on the ground alone is a challenge. Some of them is just fall down. So that's something you need to pay attention to.
All right, because of time, we really have to wrap up here. But I'm just gonna choose. We have a final question here, so I think I just want to choose one of them because of time. Yes. So I feel like to pick one of them. So let me just look at it. Okay. All right. So let me take a voice note. Right. Let me take a voice.
Pleasant morning, Dr. Batson. What I do, the exercise, this is good enough. 2 days for the week, which is Tuesday and Thursdays. I do brisk walking around the savannah for 1 hour. 1 hour on a Tuesday, 1 hour on a Wednesday. Roughly, that's 2 hours for the week.
All right, so I can afford to take another one.
Yeah.
Let me.
Hello, Dr. Batson. I'm interested in this name for pinning here. Royal jelly or royal gel. Could you elaborate more?
Okay, so that was the person who messaged earlier.
Right.
On your right?
Okay.
Hi, could you ask to recommend this vitamin that would help with the brain when you have to study? So if you're doing some studies, is there any particular vitamin that you could use to kind of give the brain a little kickstart?
Okay, good. All right. So that's 3 questions there. So let me deal with the first one. The gentleman who left the voice note, who says he walks brisk walking around the savannah. He said Monday and Wednesday, I believe it was. 2 hours. I mean, that's good, sir. That's very good. What I tell persons, your goals, you have to know what it is you're looking to accomplish. So I don't know if you're looking to maybe build the endurance, maintain endurance, if you're looking at it from losing weight perspective, or you're just looking at general maintenance. If it's general maintenance, quite frankly, I think that's good. If you're looking at endurance, well, then maybe you could add a next day. If you're looking at weight loss, then you could add a next day. You know, and change it up a bit, because it's always good. What you could do, maybe apart from around the savannah, you could actually do like stairs. So maybe if you could have access to some bleachers, maybe on a grounds close to where you live or something, you could mix it up. So you could do like maybe half an hour on the flat, and then you do half an hour maybe stairs, up and down the stairs, that kind of thing. And you know, maybe if you want to incorporate some push-ups, some sit-ups, that kind of thing. The good thing about it, as I tell persons, you have YouTube. Watch me. The internet is filled with wonderful information. I think people just don't go in the right places to find what they're looking for. So, you know, go, if it is you want, you know, you're looking at building endurance, you may be looking, as I said, increase your lung capacity, breathing, that type of thing. There are different things. You just type it in. After God, as I said, is Google. The next question the lady asked is royal jelly it is. That is it. I should be getting, God's willing, in stock. The problem I had is that because of COVID, most of the suppliers on a certain side of the world, they were having some issues with it. We have not solved that. That is our April situation again, because a lot of persons had asked me. I think mine one just finished recently, because I normally I use that a lot. It's a product I like. I find it does a lot for the body. And then there was a next question. What's the other one, boy? It was the... What's the other one, Dion, right? It was the exercise. Yeah.
The final question. No, it was this thing for the brain.
Oh, right.
When they study.
Good. Cerebral. There's a product that we carry at Batson & Associates called Cerebral. Now, why this product is impressive, one of the main ingredients in the product is something that they use is actually used in Ayurvedic medicine. And it is actually used, it has been researched for ADHD, which is attention deficit hyperintensity disorder, where the persons who actually used it improved like about 80%, which is amazing, because one of the issues with people with attention deficit hyperintensity disorder is that their ability to concentrate and focus and their cognitive function is usually, out of balance. So it was actually found to give them great results to that. It's called the Cerebral, very, very good product, right? So with that being said, let me just give you very quickly our telephone numbers. You can give us a call on 222-8261. That's 222-8261, as well as 314-9975. That is 314-9975. And those locations, we are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That's Money Talks building in Montrose, Chaguanas. We are also on the corner of Ramsey Mooch Trace and the SS Erie Main Road in Davie, as well as Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. Let me say a pleasant good morning again to the listeners of Sky 99.5. I will be doing that live tonight at 7, with 7 to 9. I'm giving you all a special program. So some of you ask questions on Facebook, because I'm seeing a lot of questions, and I do apologize that I wasn't able to answer your questions. But tonight I'm going to try my best and see if I could run through as much as possible. And of course, you can check us out on Facebook. We are Batson and Associates Limited. On Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. And on YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. Look out for information on that product, our Nerve Restore, which is actually going on special from the end of this month. We're going to have it on special, so look out for that ad that we're going to be placing there. And we're going to be doing some promotion with that product. It's very good for sleep. It's very, so insomnia problems. It's very good for anxiety, depression, alertness, even energy. It really improves the quality of sleep that you get. Mr. Dion, sir, you're going to ask the question.
Yeah, you said you are getting, or you have the Santolan Slim, I think you call it.
No, we will be getting that. That is a end of April product. So Santolan Slim, Circulation Plus, the new tea for the woman with the uterine tea, that is end of April. All those are end of April. We have like about 10 new products that coming out, God's willing, at the end of April. So you guys look out for that. I'll make sure and keep you posted.
Okay, for sure. Dr. B, it was a pleasure having you here today, man. Today was a very interesting session.
Yeah, I am so glad that I didn't stay home today.
Nice, man. Nice, man. So continue blessings. You're going to be on tonight on Facebook, Instagram, as well.
Yes.
From 7 p.m.
7 p.m. to 9. So it will be Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. And on YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. So that'll be 7 to 9. And I'll be discussing a number of things. I'm going to actually touch on the depression and the anxiety. And I'm going to try to answer as much, because I think we have, I don't see the top emails. You have like about 300 questions on Facebook. Wow. And statements, good morning, and that type of thing. So I'll have to run through that.
Well, forgiveness. I hope the Facebook friends would forgive me. All right.
Yes.
So they can get their questions answered as well. So may God continue to bless you, Dr. Batson, and your ministry. Big up to the man himself, Shaquille.
Yes,
and
sir.
You enjoy the rest of your day. All right.
Okay. Take care.
All right, man. Blessings.
Blessings.
So we want to thank Dr. Batson for touching base with us here on Sky 99.5 FM. Spoke a little bit about stress and everything else. Don't remember to hug that tree, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Batson, do you have any recommended tree that they should hug in Trinidad? Mango?
You know, I'm going to say, if he's a good person, you could go and hug up a mango or a fig. If you're a bad person, go and find a guru breath.
You know, I knew I was gonna say that.
Oh God, I just had to say that. Y'all are playing the fool, eh? But yeah, a mango, a coconut too. A coconut tree is a good tree.
You know, Sky 99.5 FM.
Don't get that lot, God do it. And I don't pay my rent, God do it. And if you want from my hand, God do it.
So Instagram, MS, I need help with, please. So all you guys on social media, as I said, so I'll be doing the program for you tonight, 7 to 9. So I'm going to try and go through all of these and see if I can answer as much of your questions as possible. All right, Facebook family, always a pleasure to be in your company. People like Joanne Howell, sorry. Miss Jessica Clark, Paula. Paula, your surname is Farinha. Miss Germaine. Okay, so all you guys join me tonight. And as we always say at Batson and Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Look out for that Nerve Restore. We're going to be pushing that next month, God's willing. That's the product for April. So look out for it. God bless and enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.